lost my business, I've lost this thing, but the brain you have and the power you have can rebuild whatever it is. And one key trait everybody must have is resilience.
Not every business idea is for you to execute. As you know, sometimes it's just for somebody. Aside that, it's okay to understudy people.
Is there a problem being multi-talented?
There's no problem with being multi-talented or being a creative hub, but there's a problem where you don't know how to combine or when to pivot. Balancing everything and laying everything down flat. Why not prioritize?
I want to add something from the perspective of an employer.
Okay.
The CV is fantastic, but you came to stand in front of me, there's no substance because there are no skills that you're actually developing. We're in an era where society is looking for rewarding and awarding not experts, not even timeless authorities, but they are rewarding people who are being passive.
People do not come to social media to show. That's not the prime reason. There's a reason it's called social.
Welcome to the Unscripted Roundtable Edition. This is an all-ladies edition. As you can see, I have very beautiful ladies with me. And for the very first time, we have live audience, people from our community. Thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. When I saw them, I was like, wow, this is a surprise. And there's one guy that came from Kumasi that I want to give shout outs. Thank you so much for coming. But I want us to get right into this conversation. I know the 4 ladies sitting here are very surprised, but there are 4 key things we'll be talking about today. I think I mentioned to you guys, no, 3. So there's going to be media, there's going to be business, and there's going to be branding. And I mean, in today's world, since 2024, coming into 2025, these are things that people are talking about. In the media space, we have traditional, we have digital media. People are talking about creating content. People are talking about personal branding. I remember last year, middle last year, it became annoying to me because everywhere you pass, you hear, create a personal brand, create a personal brand. And when I started YouTube, I had to learn more about it. So I want us to talk about it. And getting towards the end of the conversation, I want us to speak to the ladies, because it's an all-ladies edition. We did all men, even though it was not intentional, last year, which was very, very good. So sit back. You really, really enjoy this one. If you're here too, please sit back and enjoy this one. My very first question, I'm laughing because it's still actually 3 questions to each person. But my very first question is, since you started your career, right, what has been the journey? That's one. And what's one thing you wish someone told you? Or one thing you wish you knew? Like, maybe you made a certain mistake and I was like, wow, I wish someone told me this. I'll give an example. When I started this whole YouTube journey, I misused money at the beginning. Yeah. And it was because I wanted to get a certain kind of quality, certain kind of size. I just thought, let me just push the money into it. But after a couple of months, I realized that, we can do better, you understand? So when you started your career, your journey, was one thing you wish someone told you?
Hi everyone, my name is Keni. My career started with a law trajectory because I thought I was going to become a lawyer and then work in the UN as UN Secretary General, very specific. And I went into uni with that plan. I did political science and French, again in line with that. But interestingly, during national service, which I did with a law firm, I had just started writing, and writing became an active part of my life. So from then, I got pitched to join an advertising company. There, I learned how to write the ads you hear, the TV scripts you watch, all of those things. And then I realized there was more to just like the art of taking a pen and writing. I could use that to chart a different path for my life. From there, I went to work in government communications. I worked in former President Attuquaye's comms team for a while. And then from there, I moved into corporate comms. As you can see, there's no legal anything in there. And then I moved into corporate comms. I worked in corporate Ghana for about 2 years. And then I went into nonprofit. I've been moving a lot.
Yeah.
My lesson is clarity comes with motion. I think for me, if I hadn't started doing the things I was doing, I wouldn't have realized what would even, what would resonate with me, what I would find fulfillment in. And for a lot of the things that I wanted, So I wanted, in the law frame, I wanted that recognition of, Esquire, they'll respect you and all of that. But I didn't need to become a lawyer to have that. I wanted a certain kind of income, but I also realized I didn't need to do that. And finding fulfillment in what I was doing by writing, creating community is what has landed me here today. Now I use the experience from all those places to advise people on how to build their brands for themselves and for their companies. So that's what I mean by clarity comes in motion. I would have thought I would probably be in a law firm by now. I wouldn't be here. I'll probably be working on a Saturday trying to close my billable hours. But clarity does come in motion. So especially for the young people who listen to this, I find that a lot of people are under pressure to figure out what to do immediately. If you like, I'm 23, I should know what I want to do, whether I'm going to do my master's, whether that pressure robs you of the joy of enjoying what is happening now. And most of the time you look back and realize, like Reagan said, you wasted time or you wasted money or you wasted opportunities. So for me, clarity comes in motion. Just give yourself time. I think I'm one of the oldest people in the room, and really, I'm not even that old. So give yourself time. Things will unfold and you will enjoy your life.
Wow. Thank you so much. I just want to add something to that. Stephen Bartlett has this concept of experimenting and failing, right? And he has, in his team, he awards people who fail a lot or who experiment a lot. And when I heard this first, I was like, this doesn't make sense. But then it just connected to that. If you do more things, you learn more from it. But if you're sitting there and not doing anything, you're not going to get anything at all. Thank you so much for that.
Okay, so my lesson would ride off his, which is mastery comes from motion.
Okay.
Because when I was starting marketing, I was the way I can sit and I can literally have a consultation with somebody without having to check anything, and we can break the things down. But prior to this, I would be scared to even go into a pitch. The same pitch deck I created myself, I'm scared to go into meetings with brand managers and all these people, all these big people, because I feel like they are experts or they have a lot more experience. But I've come to realize with anything and everything at all, the more you do it, the better you become at it. So the more you fail, the more you pick lessons, the more you get clarity, the more you're able to refine what it is that you're doing. So there are certain things you want to do. You want to become a content creator, but you are waiting to get to a certain point before you actually roll it out. But it's in the showing up every day and learning from what you're learning, what you're doing, that gives you the mastery you are looking for to be able to earn that money. So you would see somebody blow up from nowhere, but they've probably been doing 10 years of underground work, and it's been an exponential progress. So if you're not showing up, you're not going to get the mastery you need for that money or that career, that thing that you're looking for. So that's that for me.
Thank you.
I think I can relate a lot to Keni's story. Yeah. Because I was also that typical person who had like a life plan. Like I have journals still dating back from junior high, like from 2014, 2015. That even now I still go back to go and check if I'm doing what I wrote or what stopped, where we're moving to and all of that. But what I wish somebody had told me earlier was that statement that life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. I wish I had heard that statement earlier, because there's one thing about me. I think when Adwoa hosted me on her show, I think somewhere last year, I mentioned that I have been more of a perfectionist, like, some time back in my life, and I'm working on that. Yeah. So you can tell from me writing, I want to do this, forensic psychology, politics, global governance, and all of that. Prim and proper. That's all I wanted. But life hits you in so many ways. Whole roller coaster. You go through the whole marketing, you go to digital marketing, a bit of entrepreneurship. And as Patty said, it got to a point I have conversations and discussions with experts who's been there for like 10 years, 15 years, and we're speaking the same language. Yeah. So I'm like, Jannice, you know the thing. I'm like, you know it. So maybe all you have to do is theoretically, going to school professionally and all of that to top up And so did all those bits and pieces. I have bosses who call me, Jannice, you're so good. I know it's not your fault, but come. So I have experience in sustainability, exports, trade, so many things. And then that is what has built me. So today, if I sit with someone and I'm saying, okay, let's go through your small business plan or whatever you're doing, it is this tiny experiences that built me, not all those big plans I was writing in my diary.
Adwoa.
I think it's very relatable, every single thing that you said, with regards. I mean, when you're starting off, every single person has an idea of what they want to do, how it's going to look like from here, from junior high, I'm going to this senior high school, I'm going to study this from there. And it's okay to have that. But also, I mean, we've spoken about emotion and how that, helps in bettering yourself every single time. I love the fact that she mentioned showing up. Because for me, what I'm doing now is as a result of me just deciding to show up every single time and using every opportunity that I had the best way that I could. Because being in the media, like I said earlier on the interview that we had, is something I fell into. And so for now, for people to see me now, and a lot of people also saw the progress. I think I grew in people's faces. And so a lot of people saw that, okay, from here, she went to this point, she went to that point, she went to that point. And at every point in time, I just decided to do my best and just take the opportunity and grab it and be open-minded. I think that's also another thing that people close themselves off. Once I said I'm going to do law, I am not moving anywhere if you put me there. But what if you try it? Just try it. What do you have to lose, really? If you are not good at it, you move it away. You tried it and you found out that you are not good at it. But if you never try, it would be an what if. It will be a what if, and you'll never get the answer to that. So it's okay to try. Keep trying, explore. Allow yourself to, just... even if it doesn't have anything to do with what you're doing, just go in that space and just find out how it looks like. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having that experience, What I wish someone told me earlier, it would definitely have to be a little bit on the back of your story about the fact that, and also on Jannice, is the fact that you want everything to be perfect before you move to the next point, and you always want to make sure that the first start is like a blow.
Yeah.
When you launch, when I come, you see that I'm coming. Sometimes you actually find out that once you just start the way it is, you're able to build on it, you're able to learn from the mistakes that you're making, and then you just move. You want to start content creation, you're waiting to get an iPhone 16 and the best camera. This person is saying that Canon, this is this Canon, that's this person. It starts with the phone that you have. You start from there, you realize that, okay, I can edit it to make it look like it was an iPhone 16 that I shot on. Or, there's some way, somehow, you could just work with what you have to get what you want. And so for that, I think that, just starting I just wish that someone had just said, just go. Yeah. Just do it. Even though I sort of did that one way or the other, but just, go and you'll be fine.
I mean, just to add to what you were saying, sometimes you just need to explore. I didn't see myself doing podcasts, to be very honest. Last 2 years, I guess, I was like, I want to tell stories. I want to bring people on. Let's impact generations. So sometimes you just need to go into it. You just need to go into it. You don't have to think about it too much. But I don't want to say what you said. I will say a question from everything you guys have said. Yeah. Looking at all this thing, definitely there will be some kind of emotion. There will be that failure. Like I was saying, I spent so much money at the beginning. Sometimes I'm just alone. And I'm like, why did I do this thing? But I've already done it. It's a learning experience. There are people that when things like that happen to them, it will take a while for them to come back on their feet. Yeah. Right? Because business, having a skill, working somewhere, it's difficult. Like, we make it sound like, just start. But then when you get into it, it's tough, like very tough. So how do you handle the emotions that come with it?
My hack is Jesus. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yes, I can't give you any 5 steps. No, it's Jesus. I keep saying, interestingly, we keep referencing podcasts and shows, but I was on Patty's podcast and I told her about a verse that comforts me that says that when you pass through deep waters, they will not drown you. And I said, for me, it reminds me that you will go through the deep waters, but I will navigate those deep waters in heels, and you will not know that it's something that can drown me. And it's not because I know how to walk in heels. It's because I'm walking with somebody who can calm that storm. And I say that because I have been through deep waters. I'm looking directly in the camera, so I have no doubt. I have been through deep waters, but I'm sure I don't look like I'm drowning. So yes, that's really it. I'm talking self-doubt. I'm talking struggles with trying to navigate things in the workplace. I'm talking, am I even on the right life path? Like all those questions come. Sometimes you're like, is this choice I've made a sensible one? Is this what I need to do? And it might look like people are doing stuff and it looks like they're born to do it. I can tell you that even today, there are questions I have, there are doubts I have, but I work with someone who lifts up my head. And so it doesn't matter. I'm not going to say that they don't happen. I cry, I'm down, I question myself, I doubt myself. But once I go and assist with my Jesus, to me, that's my hack. I don't know. I'm sorry if you are not Christian. If you are Christian, you can come and let's talk about being Christian. But me, that's my hack. I can't, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's Jesus.
I was going to say that mine is cry if you want to cry. Because this is me who can start this podcast. Maybe I'll go something to show up. I'll just go and cry in my bed, clean my face, show up tomorrow. Yeah. Like, even today, I slept at 6 a.m. Right? I tried to rebrand the project of mine that I've been working on from 2022. And the whole thing is, it gets hard. It gets hard. It gets tough, especially when you have an initiative that not everybody understands. I mean, you tell them and they're like, oh, yeah. Oh, solid, great. Like, it comes to execution, they're like, it's not a like that. So it's just you trying to navigate, okay, how do I do this, do that, partnerships, collaborations. It's not easy. For me, I cry. Like when you see me becoming a crybaby. No. When we come out, we show out, speak up, confidence and all of that. When it comes to the emotions, God and crying, if you see me put my AirPods here and I start playing Sing Me, start playing Joe Metal, it's critical. I'm calling on God. And I mean, he does come through for all of us all the time. So, yeah.
Patty. I'm sure we all know Patty's answer. We saw her birthday post.
Jesus. Well, yeah, that's very important.
Yeah.
Because I believe that, so a lot of us spoke about, oh, I have this plan. I wanted to do this. But what is God saying you should do? So you end up falling into what God has orchestrated, right? So what I believe is if the roadmap you're following or whatever it is you're pursuing, you know that I heard from God or God asked me to do this. God put this in my spirit to do this. Then when it's going wrong, where do you go to? Right? This is my thinking. We are governed by God. God gave us a mandate to take care of the things that He's called us to do. So it's been delegated to you.
Yeah.
So if your boss gives you work to do and you hit a roadblock, what do? You go back to your boss, right?
Yeah.
So that is mine. I go back. Am I not doing something right? Am I sometimes... It's difficult, but you have this sense of peace because you know that there's somebody holding your hand through it, like Keni said, right? But one key thing that I also have noticed, I've dealt with a lot of entrepreneurs, I listen to a lot of visionaries, builders, and one key trait everybody must have is resilience.
Yeah.
The ability to bounce back. I've fallen down. I've lost my business, I've lost this thing, but the brain you have and the power you have can rebuild whatever it is. Whatever problem you have, you can solve it. It's probably a knowledge gap that is causing you to go through whatever it is that you're going through. So sit down, evaluate what it is. Sometimes call and rant. I'll call Keni, Charlie, this thing. I'm struggling with this. I'm having a hard time with this. If you have people also it's great to have people that are have gone ahead of you and can tell you that I've been through this too. Yeah. Stop doing this and focus on this. All these things can help you navigate the difficulties that come with doing life. Yeah.
I don't want to be the one to say they've also said but the emotions will not run away.
Yeah.
The emotions will come. You would feel like asking all the questions. Am I doing it right? Why am I even doing this in the first place? There's so many times I'm like, do I even have to go to work? Like, why am I even working? Like, why? You know, you ask every single question. And it is very valid that you're asking all those questions. Don't beat yourself down if you get into that point. But like Patty said, you know, the ability to bounce back is very important. I'm not even going to lie about the Christ factor, you know, because there are so many verses. There's this particular verse in Psalms that also talks about the fact that by my God, I leap over a troop. They didn't say that you walk. Why didn't he say you walk? It means that there's a point where you have to leap. And at that point, you have to know that, like she said, there's someone that sent you on this. Like we said, we're all having things that we're writing. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a doctor. I want to do this. I want to do that. But what if this is how it's, and even the journey to what God even wants you to do is also another thing that we have to even talk about in the first place, you know, because the end goal is one thing, but you have to go through this person will be wicked to you, you will not understand, they'll say, stay there, don't move, you're asking all the questions, you want to just give up and just sleep and not do anything. But really and truly, when you find out that there's someone or there's a being that you speak to in your own space, you know, you could just go to that point, you cry it out. A lot of times, that crying does a lot of things. So because when you're at that point and you cry it out, it just feels like everything is just gone. Yeah. You know, you have a different perspective of what you want to do. So it's okay to cry. You know, just cry in your own space. Go back to God and say, God, you sent me here, you know. I'm back. I didn't send myself. I am back. Come back and clear this road for me. And really and truly, like, it would work magic and you wouldn't even know that this is even what it is. I mean, sometime later on, you just go back and you say, so this was what it was, and then it went this way and that way and that way. So the Christ factor is important. You know, acknowledge the emotion and act on the emotion, you know, not acting on the emotion, like taking decisions like that, but cry it out if you need to. And also the people that you have around you is very, very important. If you're able to circle yourself with people that are like-minded, like she said, people that have been ahead of you, you're able to pick a few things. They say, okay, I went this way, I made this mistake. You know that, okay, I'm not going this way. And then you ask the questions, what did you do? Make sure that you're asking the right questions at the right time. I don't like to ask a lot of questions, but when I have to ask the question, I would ask the question. Because why should I suffer? Someone was there. Someone is just there. Let me just go and ask the person. What? Nothing would happen. You know, so surround yourself with people that you can learn from. Surround yourself with people that are not scared to correct you, you know, when you do it. And be very, very okay with it. You know, you have friends that will say, listen, I hear you, but I don't think what you're doing is right. And you have to, in fact, you have to appreciate those kind of people that can openly just tell you their mind and you trust their judgment and you trust what they're saying, you know. So having those people around you, acknowledging your emotions and, you know, acting the right way, definitely the God factor, please keep him somewhere nice. Carry him along everywhere you're going, you'll be fine. Yeah.
Wow. To the guys, the tears, please allow them.
Guy. Please don't cry. Guy. Actually, you guys cry. You just don't let anyone see.
Some don't cry.
Sometimes.
I used to be like that, right? Please allow them, because I'm not even, like last 3 weeks, like I cry, just talk to God, because even yesterday evening, because I just wanted this to be perfect. I slept around 4 a.m. I wanted this to be perfect. I didn't.
4 a.m.
Never mind. Let's focus on the conversation.
Those letters 6.
You didn't mind it.
I've pointed myself to sleep monitor because this guy doesn't sleep. So I'm just checking. 4 a.m.
Okay, cool.
So please allow the tears. My next question is there a problem being multi-talented?
I don't think there's a problem with being multi-talented at all. At all. I think it's some of us, it's not our fault. It's really not our fault. In 2022, working with Futures Kwame Poku, we both visited down to Accra. We had like a private masterclass before he left to Ghana, and then we were talking about creative hubs, you know, like different types of personalities and all of that. And he said, for instance, me, I'm a creative hub.
when I'm staying up 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., I have different ideas that I cannot execute alone.
Yeah.
So sometimes I think about it and I'm like, I wish somebody can buy it so they should just take it. Like, I mean, I was blessed to have the idea, but I don't necessarily have to execute it.
Yeah.
So there's no problem with being multi-talented or being a creative hub, but there's a problem where you don't know how to combine or when to pivot.
Okay.
Because you can be standing here, so many things around you, how to juggle, how to position, how to even move, even in a sequence, how to make everything follow and make sense at the same time, then how to move on to the next thing. So I was the program and somebody told me, when do you know when it's time to pivot on to the next thing? Because Jannice is like, you do this, the by the time you realize you've moved on to the next thing, like it's so, and I said, it's not planned though. Like, I mean, you plan though, but sometimes it's not always planned, professionally or as an expert or an experienced person, what you do, time matters in all of these things.
Okay.
There are eras, there are seasons. So if you're doing this, you acknowledge the fact, is this for this season? Is this a timeless piece? Where am I? Do you understand me? Time matters in all of these things. If you're able to recognize the time, if you're able to recognize what you want to make out of what you're doing at that moment, then you can arrange everything. That, okay, Jannice, I'm an entrepreneur trying to make money. I've been running Ashaford out of experience for the past 5 years. It's cool, it's calm. It got to a point I realized that, Jannice, you can't be doing Ashaford all by yourself. Get somebody, marketing officer, whatever they want to call themselves, and it's time to invest. You need to pay that person a salary to handle that event section of your life. Then it's running. You're CEO of blah, 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 blah. Now there's a digital part of you where you advise people, help them build their brand and all of that. So that is personal because it has to do with you directly. So set up something in the form of a consultation, you understand me, and let that one progress. Now the part where you have bosses who call on you to come and help them with personal projects, you need to set time apart for all of those things as well. Move with it. And there's a part where you need to be a content creator to be visible. Lord Jesus. Like, that's the part where I was trying to run away from it on Instagram. And then I moved to LinkedIn. And I'm like, it's still there.
Yeah.
I mean, after getting visible, you still have to be consistent. After visibility, there's that part where you have to sustain whatever you have built. After sustainability, then legacy. Because if there's no legacy, then you're forgotten. Then what's the essence of everything that you built? So for me, timing matters and understanding what you're doing. That's for me. If you understand, you know how to place them. There's a difference if the pieces you need to put them together are not working. I've been there before. This is the right time for me. I need to move. But I need ABCD for it to work. And I don't have ABCD. I get frustrated during those moments, But still, you find a way to make it work. It's either you pause, you collaborate, you partner, make it work, or you put it aside, let something move on. It's just the same way I mentioned that this dawn, I was rebranding an initiative I'm working on since 2022. Because the initiative has been there. I'm like, Jannice, we've gotten to an era where, as you said, everything is all about personal branding. We're waiting for what's to come next. You understand? But within this moment, I've gotten a different perspective. It's not just about one person. I'm building an ecosystem. Whatever I'm doing should make sense altogether. So if you're doing personal branding, you have the women bit, then you have to include the women economic part into the branding and make everything liaise together. So that's a surprise. You guys will see it later. So understand whatever you're doing. Understand whatever you're doing and make use of the time you have. Wow. It will definitely work.
Wow.
Yeah.
You see, good question for you. Perfect person.
To add on to what Jannice said, I would say, again, give yourself time to develop this. A lot of us, I don't think I've finished discovering all the things I'm supposed to do in my life. But for each of them, when they do come on board, I would need to see how it fits into what is currently on my plate, what I'm doing currently, how it adds on or subtracts. She said something very important about pivoting. You've heard from my story that I pivoted quite a bit. And every time there's always a sense. But by the time that sense comes, it's because I have something in my hand that I'm using that usually opens the door to that next phase or that next season. So I know I said in the video that it's not wrong to have multiple things, but just make sure that this is on the same head. Keep you as the pivot, keep you as the main thing. So yes, maybe you are an artist, you're a fashion designer, you're a content creator, and you have YouTube, and you have this, and you have that. No problem. But keep the whoever it is, as that center, that North Star. And every time when you look at what you have in your hand, every now and then ask yourself, does this still serve a certain purpose? Because for me, and I know this would break my writing community's heart, when I started, I used to write a short story every single Wednesday. That was the thing. I don't remember the last time they got a story from me. Now the writing has pivoted into other things. So now I see that I'm scripting stuff for maybe speeches for somebody, or like a strategy document for something, or I'm blasting the government on something. I'm writing. It's just not a fictional short story. I may come back to writing for fiction, depending on whatever season I'm in at that point. But one, take what is in your hands and make sure that you're using as much of what you have now. Because the truth is, again, I'm going to pull out the Bible. If you don't handle what you have well, when the master comes, he's going to take out what you have not used and give it to somebody else who's using what they have. So use what you have. For me, I'm always talking about self-discovery, because it's in that using, it's in that, I do well with this. I don't do really well with managing people, but I'm good at finance. Then you add it, put it in your pocket for whatever will come up. But if you don't use all the things in your hand, maybe you're on campus and you are in this group where you're doing stuff, you don't exercise your leadership there to understand that I struggle with leadership, so there's a knowledge gap there I need to work on. You will need that when you become CEO someday, because I'll tell you, CEOs really struggle with getting everyone on the same table to deliver on the results. So no problem with being multi-passionate. Just make sure you're using what you have in your hands now. You are paying attention to the seasons, because that's one thing. Before I did my most recent pivots, I had a conversation with Patty, and I said, I just get this sense, all sorts of things that were fine started rubbing me out the wrong way, because it was clearly, it's time to move. And if you don't make the most of what you have in your hand, when it's time to move, you'll be starting from ground zero, and you don't want that. But if I hadn't started putting out the content I was putting out, doing the things I was doing, people would not believe that I can do the things that I'm telling them that I'll do for them today. So that's it for me. Pay attention to the seasons and use what you have in your hand. Yes.
I think I just like to add to what she said. I think another thing that makes people maybe think being multi-talented is a problem is when you're trying to balance. I want to do everything at the same time.
Okay.
Why not prioritize? Yeah. So at this point in time, like she said, at this time in this season, this is what I am doing. That is the head. If there's any other thing that's going to come in the way, just make sure it's not affecting what you're doing at that point in time. So instead of trying to do everything at the same time, on the same day, have a priority in the time and the season that you're in for now. So, for example, myself, there are times that I do content creation, I have this, I have that, and all of these things. Currently, I am working in a space. Whatever I'm going to do on the side must not affect the work that I'm doing at this point in time. And so if I know that what I'm doing now is what is my priority for now, and that means every other thing can hold on. When I come home on a weekend, I can do other things. I can focus on other things. There are times where you have deadlines, as a content creator working with a brand, you have to deliver by this, you have to deliver by this. I'm telling you that as of Monday to Friday, this is where I have to be. So if you would get whatever you need from me, you would get it on this day. I am the one controlling it, because at this point in time, this is my priority. And I'm not going to let any other thing affect it. When I move from that side, another thing becomes a priority. So instead of balancing everything and laying everything down flat, why not prioritize in the time and the season that you're in? And then when you move to the other side, you can just always, you're the architect. You're the one controlling everything. So, yeah.
But I don't want to add anything to it. I've said everything.
I want to add something from the perspective of an employer.
Okay.
Because I find a lot of, especially young people who, yes, I'm in school, I want to be able to do this, I still want to do this, I want to handle many things at the same time. That's great. I admire that ambition. However, I find that because you're spreading yourself thin, nobody's getting your best.
Yeah.
Right? I want to be able to bank on you for the thing that I'm hiring you for. Do you understand? So it's okay to have that ambition and know that I have the capacity to do all of these things. But once you've committed, make sure that you are delivering on what it is you've committed to. That's what's key for me, because then it becomes the thing of I have to now try and manage you. Do you understand? Like I'm hiring you for, let's say, content, and I need you to come with me to Unscripted because let's capture BTS or something. And you're saying I can't come because there's something. I can't fall on you or I can't bank on you in that season. So if you're choosing to do that, yes, your timing is also very important. How are you navigating all of these things and making sure that the people or the things you've committed to are getting a certain level of excellence from you? Yeah.
One thing that most people struggle with is coming up with the idea, because that's the first thing.
Yeah.
You need the idea to even start a business. Now, one of the pods we recorded, I think it was with Derek, one guy left a comment that was very funny. It was like, if everyone starts a business, who buy from who? And I was wondering how he was thinking, right? And I kind of agree with him, not totally, because not everybody can become an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fine. But that's the thing that is also not true, because definitely, even if you're selling bags, you might buy bags from someone depending on the kind of bags you're looking for, right? How can someone who wants to, maybe they just finished school, they want to start a business, whether it's a service-based business, they want to do buying or selling, something. How can they start from ideation?
If you ask me, from my perspective, the reason and purpose was different. To monetize.
Okay.
To make money.
Okay.
To make a living.
Okay.
To earn a living. And to survive. Understand? So, two things here. If you're a creative person, ideas flow day in, day out, blah, 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 blah. Now, to the part where I needed money, I started thinking. I'm on campus, level 200. Jannice, what can I do? What do people buy a lot on campus? And then, there are certain things that people buy a lot that even if you decide to make it beautiful, they will not buy yours. They'll buy the brand they already know. You understand me? Yeah, because of quality and a whole lot of stuff. I started thinking, I'm like, ice cream cake. These boys buy it too. Ice cream cake and bread, ice cream cake and this, ice cream cake on my floor. Here you want. Everybody ice cream cake. But me too, I don't take ice cream cake outside. I want to do it myself because I'm scared of how they mash it and all of that. I'm like, okay, let me do ice cream cake. My colleagues, I can give it to them. The shops in the halls, I can give it to them. Then Attuquaye, I can have it there as well. I didn't know I had that branding bit in me from level 200 because a part of me said, I will not call it ice cream cake. I will not call it mash cake. I want something, nice with a flair. I was like, okay, let me call it a corn smoothie. And it worked. It was beautiful. I had a friend who had a car in a car for home. That's the first time I went to Abubushi. Now, he even gave me the idea because I wanted to have equipment like you. We always want to do our things for JJ. I wanted to buy my equipment, my blender, everything. He was like, Jannice, there are people who neatly blend ice kenke at Abubushi. Just go and give them what you have. If it's your kenke, your milk, granite, or everything, bag it beautifully. Go and give it to them. The place is so neat. They'll blend everything you're there. Then they put it into whatever you want it to. Bring it. Then you just come and do bottling and packaging. Yeah. I'm like, okay, why not? So I was commuting. Abubushi to East Legon, bringing it. We just come and bottle, pack, and all of those things. We had to manage how milk was going in and out because sometimes it will get spoiled, fermented, and all of that. Then we secured a spot at Ocansey. Only we were using the cup. Pour it into the cup for you, give you a straw, give you a spoon. And then that one, we add the milk when we pour it out of the bottle for you because it doesn't ferment. Then engineering department as well, there was a woman who was selling there. I go and give it to her. My colleagues were buying some. Then the hose. That when I even stopped, my colleagues were, Jannice, why did you stop? I said, you learn fun. I do engineering. You should learn. She said, I did. Because it was getting tiring. It was getting tiring. I had made something small out of it. It was no bad. I'm like, okay, Jannice, let's move on to the next thing. And it was within that period that I had met futurists who I was learning a lot from in terms of digital marketing,
digital trainings and all of that. And I'm like, Jannice, this bit can wait, move to the one that comes to you easily. Even though it was not easy like that, because as I said, if you're asking me for my point, it was to make money. Yeah. So Olive Campos vibes, leaving Legon to Dansoma to go and shoot as a presenter with Prudence. Shout out to Prudence. I think he's at MX today or something. I got to a point, I'm like, Jannice, who sent you? I'll be on TV and they'll be like, Jannice, the lecturer is looking for you. I said, tell him, I'll come and learn. You shouldn't stress my life. Do you understand me? But back to the conversation we're having. Now I was like, okay, in as much as this money I'm looking for, which of them is coming to me easily? Because if I'll get the money and I'll spend it on transport to go back to Dansuman, no. If I'm going to make ice K, which is going to stress me, fatigue, I can't even go to class and go and study after. Cross out. But moving with Futurist is not going to take anything from me. Sometimes it's virtual, sometimes you meet, sometimes start with incubator. Go and do whatever you want to do there. Let me move with that one. That one is really going to help me. Do you understand me? So for someone who wants to start something, why do you want to start something? Is it from a perspective where you want to make money? Then if you want to make money, as the strategist, it has to be from a problem-solving point of view and be strategic about it. If it's that you want to start a business and you want to make money, you understand me? But if it's out of passion, whatever you want to do, I mean, just start it, get into the to-dos of your business, know what you have to do, and then start it. That's the little I can say. Yeah.
I think Jannice has captured almost everything. But yes, again, from what's the problem, right? Yes, you're passionate about something that you want to do, but it should still solve a problem, right? Let's say you want to go into content creation. What problem are you coming to solve for us that will make us want to consume your content? So in this case, let's say you identify that you're a funny person, and so the problem you are solving for us on the internet is to help us ease off our stress. Do you understand? So the same comes to the business perspective. You want to make money. You want to earn more. What is the problem? For Jannice, she saw a demand for something and she saw a gap, which is we don't know how clean or how hygienic this is. She also saw the gap with branding it because as uni people, they have a certain expectation and all of that. So identify the gaps. The idea you have may not be completely new. Mashke is not a novel idea, but what she did differently was identifying the gap in distribution. She identified the gap in branding and then she filled that gap. So that's what I would say. In your everyday encounters, there are things you go through that frustrate you. So can you fill that gap? And how can you fill it? Using what other people are not using. Right? Don't back down from an idea because this industry is saturated. I don't believe in that. I believe that there are loopholes. So we could all be selling double drawn hair, but the loophole is in service delivery. Yeah. Do you understand? So you find that place, that spot, that's the gap, and that's where you innovate. Where's the gap? What can I do to improve this? And then you are good to go. So think from that perspective. And I think that would be a great way to come up with ideas with whatever it is you want to monetize. Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much for that perspective. I have a follow-up question. You said you started the ice cream business because you wanted to make money.
Yeah.
Is the point of business not to make money?
There's a point where you want to do something out of passion. And out of that passion, you make money. And then there's survival, where you need to make money.
Out of poverty.
Thank you. Emphasis on poverty. You need the money, right? So for me, in as much as I needed the money, it was not about just jumping into anything. I had to do it right so that it would sell, right? So yes, the whole point of business is not just money. Strategists will tell you, we are solving a problem. We are providing people with whatever they need and all of that. So it's not just money all the time. But if whatever you're doing indeed works, it's not an NGO, some form of, remuneration will come out of it.
I just finished uni. I'm not doing NSS. I tell you, I have to solve a problem. How long till they make the money?
But if you're going to solve a problem, my darling, it does not mean you're going to make money ASAP.
Right.
Starting that business, investment, capital, advertisement, marketing, promotion, and all of that. How much are you even putting into the business that you want to benefit right now? Am I making sense? How much are you putting into it right now that you want to proof of? And then I think even in business, there's a period where you're going to break even.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not even right at the starting point. No. I'm just throw everything to party, right?
Is the point of business not to make money?
Yeah, that's primarily
Okay.
right. You should get a return,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes the return is not money.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, we can look at it. If we are calling it business,
Mhm.
if you are labeling it business, then it should bring money in. So if you are right out of uni, you are doing your national service.
Mhm.
I honestly do not recommend you go into business with your sole motive to make money,
Okay.
because you are going to have some days where there's nobody patronizing you, and then you enter that loop of frustration, and you deal with so many things that you don't need to deal with. So yes, primarily you want to make money, but solve a problem.
Mhm.
When you solve a problem, the people who have the problem will find you, and they will give you something in return for what you are giving them, right?
Mm-hmm. I asked this question because I think most people, the moment they finish school, let's use as an example, because maybe now parents will probably not be taking care of you like they were taking care of you in school. They want to start making some coins. They think, no, let me start selling this thing, and they start making. So the moment they go in the first, maybe 1 week, 2 months, they're not making money, then it becomes a problem. At the beginning, we spoke about how you need to have resilience. And that's something that a lot of people don't have in mind, because for me like this, like I said at the beginning, I misused money a lot. Anytime
To spend money.
me disika. Anytime I open, I know she more than I see the finance. I'm like, wow, nobody taught me this. I thought if I put this in, I'll get a return fast. But I had to now sit down, relax, and understand what right. I went in to make impact, but like you all said, I didn't know that they need money. Right? There's a statement I think they make in business that cash is king. You need cash at every point in time. Cash needs to be flowing.
Yeah.
So if cash is not flowing, and there's a big problem, right? Most people go into business, and I think I've noticed there was this guy opposite my house. If you happen to watch this video, I'm sorry. He keeps talking to me sometimes, Charlie, I want to do something, I want to make money. And I'm trying to tell him that you need to invest in yourself, because the cost you went to study in school is not something that you can just go out there and get a job. You know, fortunately for us, there are some of us that if you're a content creator, you can shoot one video for a brand and get some thousand CDs. But there are certain things that will probably take you. And I'm like, you know what? Pick up the skill. Do this. He was like, he doesn't have that time. He has a long way to go. You understand?
But
Anyway,
I think, sorry to cut you, but if that's the case, then if yours is you need to make the money, you're frustrated if the money is not coming, then you need to understand the business of business.
What was that?
As Patty should tell you.
How are you passing your statement to me?
Interesting.
No, you need to understand the business of business. That she was even pointing them out. That if you've started, there are going to be days that nobody's patronizing.
Okay.
So you need to understand that that's part of business.
Yeah.
The fact that you're doing business and you're selling doesn't mean somebody will come and buy every day. Now, you've even added the burden of social media.
Yeah.
You'll not just sit at one place and say, oh, I'm selling bags, I'm selling jewels, and people will come and buy. You need to invest by creating content, get a good phone, get whatever it is, create that content. And there are days that is how it is. You understand me? So if you started and people are not patronizing as you wanted, then come back and sit now. The business of business. Am I doing it how it's supposed to be done? Am I falling short somewhere? If not, and it's just business attitude. Even with that, there are business strategies. That's why I was passing it to today to you and now. Like, you understand? Even with that, there are strategies that will help you scale. Aside that, you need to understand that the fact that I'm selling, I've put 100 loaves of bread there. Everybody needs to come and buy that loaf. If that day everybody wants to go and buy pancake, and they say, well, you understand?
Yeah.
So if it's all about the money, then they should go back and understand the business.
But he doesn't have the patience.
Doesn't have the
Do
patience.
you understand? He doesn't want to invest the time and effort to reap.
So then he's not.
So he's looking for a quick fix. That's
It's
it.
not
So if you're looking for, it's not business
money.
that you need
It's
to
a
go
quick
into if you're
fix.
looking
It's
for a quick
frustrating.
fix. Yeah.
For it to
You need a lot of patience. Yeah, a lot of
I actually just wanted to add, I think the first question and then this one too as well. And for the first one, I mean, I start to be corrected. There are business people. Not every business idea is for you to execute. You know, it's not everyone that's for you. You're not the one supposed to do everything. You know, like she said, started Asha Fords. Now she's giving it to somebody to handle. You know, sometimes it's just for somebody. Yeah. Aside that, it's okay to understudy people. People don't want to intern. People don't want to learn with somebody, go because, like you said, they're looking for quick money. Yeah. Sometimes just understudy somebody. You know, there's somebody in the line that you want to do, in the space that you want to go into. They have a little vacancy for an intern and an intern. Go there and learn from them. We don't like learning from people. We think that we have it all and we know. I've seen this person do it on social media. This is what they did in the field. Me, if I do it, I can do it better. But you don't know the ins and outs. Once you're able to go and understudy these people, there's so many things that you end up learning from them. And then you will find yourself in a space where you have all the things that you needed, that you didn't even know, to start the business that you want to start. So you finish national service, you want to go into because you've seen that people are doing, I'm the CEO, from the CEO, everybody's the CEO. Maybe that's not the time for you to be the CEO. And it's okay. Go and learn from somebody. Nothing will happen to you. You are not less of a person. Again, not everybody is supposed to be an entrepreneur. You know, there's some people that are great supporters. Like if they are your right-hand man, they are the runners. If you put them in charge of the CEO, no. Theirs is, I want to do this. I hand it over to you and they will run with it like never before. They're supposed to be that. That's the forte. So give it to them. Find yourself. Maybe you're not supposed to be the CEO. Maybe you're supposed to be a runner. So just go there, stay there, be that person and be the best at it. Not everybody is supposed to be the one doing the CEO. We are quick to add it to our biology.
I can't make it out. I don't know if it's Don Jazzy or one of this music titans in Nigeria, I think on Twitter, and then somebody was asking that he should show them the way. They want to make money. But in Nigeria, we need money to make money. We understand that part. But he made a profound comment to the person. He said, you don't always need money to make money. Look for somebody who needs the value you're carrying or the talent you have. Go and sell, go and work, make money, and then come and make yours.
I want to address the thing of I want to make money, right? Yeah. Business is not the only expression, right? But the mindset I want everybody to have is that you are the commodity, right? So whether you find yourself in corporate, whether you find yourself in content creation, wherever you find yourself, you're a commodity, right? So Noella has what she has, which is why she's in the media company she's in. Jannice has what she has, which is why she has businesses and then she has people that she's supporting with the expertise that she has. Keni has what she has from all that she does. I have what I have. I can thrive in corporate. Yeah. I can thrive when I start my business. I can thrive when I decide to sell courses or create an ebook and all of that. Do you understand? So first of all, who are you and what value do you have? If you do an audit and you realize that there isn't really something I have that can add anything, like check your circles. What are people constantly saying you are good at? Like, oh, can you help me with this? Somebody has an event and they're calling you because they think you are really good at organizing stuff. You should pay attention to those things, right? So this guy, I'm concerned about this guy.
I'm also concerned about him.
Just watch the podcast. He has to check what he has, because on the other side, which is the customer or the audience, the employer, whoever it is that is going to exchange money for what you have, if you put yourself in that position, will you give money for rubbish? No. Will you pay a content creator that you know, like the editor, I'm not saying so. Do you understand? You are paying somebody for ads, but you can't really tell if you will get the visibility you are looking for, the conversions you are looking for. There's always something we are looking for in exchange for the money that you are looking for. So find that thing that people are looking for. Where does your strength fall in that category? And that's where you can monetize.
Yeah.
All right. I asked Derek a certain question on the pod, and he gave a very good answer. I want to hear from some of you. Once again, if you can add to it, please do. Yes, Keni, I'm coming at you.
Yes, I know.
Let's say the person has figured out what they want to do. Maybe they want to do ice cream cake. If you do ice cream cake for you have to come and give all of us a hit. Maybe it's ice cream cake they want to do, right?
Yeah.
On a larger scale, they've got the idea. What would be like the blueprint? What would you tell them to do? Okay, now you have the idea. She mentioned that she went to Aboblo Street to go and get this, build this. How do you use the pricing? What else do they need to... Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like something someone can follow to even start a business.
You have the idea. What's the first thing you do? You do your market research. Find how viable it is. See how the industry supports. Are there any regulations you have to make sure? So I'll give you an example. There's somebody who has an idea, a skincare brand, and how she got the formulation is crazy. She got it in a dream. Yeah. So she has a you need to sleep more. She has she and her baby have a skin condition, and she's tried so many things, it was not working. And then she had a dream about that formulation, and she went to try it, and it's been working perfectly. And now she wants to help other people that are going through it. Maybe you do not have expertise in the idea. So what do? You need to go and get that certification, get trained and get certification, especially if there are regulations in that industry that require that. Because for you to be able to go to FDA, GSA and all of that, you need that. Do you understand? Again, what is FDA asking for when it comes to production? So do your market research and then find out what is required of you to make your business viable and easy for people to accept. There's that bit. Then count your costs. How much is it going to cost you to run this thing? In terms of developing the product, packaging, if it's a physical product, packaging, even with your packaging, are you going to be sourcing locally, right? Or are you going to go out internationally and find a solution to that? And that, again, also comes with its own challenges because you do not want to be changing your packaging every 3 months and explaining why, So longevity is very important when it comes to doing something like this. So have like a 10-year plan. In the next 10 years, this is what I'm looking to become. And then you break it down into, I'm not asking that start taking the big leaps, because that would require like a big budget and all of that. But when you have the bigger image, it's able to guide you into what you want to start focusing on. So finances is very important. Financial analysis, what they will usually do is to do a forecast. So this is how much it's going to cost us. This is how much we can possibly sell over the next 3 years, over the next 5 years. This is how much profits we would likely make. So that influences how much capital you are putting into the business, right? And how much you plow back, how much you save and all of that. Then we have to look at, it's very important, the leadership part of the business, which is how the business is governed, is very important. So I mentioned, if you need any certifications, go get that. But you also need to learn how to manage a business, because having a great idea alone is not enough. No. You need to learn how to oil the machine that is moving the business. Do you understand? So have that. Get training, whatever it is that you need to get. Then the next thing I would say would be customer research, understanding the people that you're going to serve. Do you need to do focus groups? If you don't have a big budget, these things may not work. But social media is the best place for you to do customer research. Have conversations with people. Pick up on comments people are leaving under similar products and services. If you see that, I said this on the pod, that if you see me scrolling on Instagram, I'm not just catching vibes, I'm picking insights, right? So if by the time a campaign lands on my lap, I already know what the thought process of the consumers are, and we're able to craft marketing around that. So when you spend a lot of time understanding the people that you're looking to serve, and that influences your marketing, your sales strategy. Do you understand? So I think these key things would help. Now, when you have all of these things, have a launch plan. How are we going to market, right? And that influences, is it going to be just an online thing, or are we also going to go offline? And there you can have your step-by-step plan on how you are going into the market.
I mean, I mentioned that people talk about personal branding right now, right? I had a question when I was watching the video, so I'll come back to her. And it's about, can a brand stand without a personal brand? In the sense that, can you start a business and not necessarily build a personal brand around it? Because I saw a video where people were talking about, we're in an era where people are following, let's say, Elon Musk more than they're following Tesla. Or they're following this person more than they're following the business.
So can you start a business without building a personal brand?
Yes, can it stand without a personal brand? Do you really need to have a personal brand when you want to start a business?
Absolutely, you can, but you will be limiting the impact of your business. So, I'm sure I've actually had this conversation in my DMs and in the comment section from time to time. So I hear people saying, but I have a business and I feel like if I show my face, it will make people attack me, or I'll now become the focus. And I said, no, if you make yourself the center of the business, then maybe that's what the challenge is. Make yourself you. And who you are is, I am all these things, including the fact that I own this business. If you do it well, what it does is it gives your business extra credibility. It gives people a certain sense of connection with your product. So like she's saying with the lady whose skincare thing is, she can just do a product shoot and show the light hitting the shea butter and so and the oil, and you buy it. But if she comes on camera and says, this is a picture of what my skin looked like, my son and I did this and this and this, mothers are more likely to say, no, I want this product because I can connect with a story. Most mothers who have newborns will tell you they have skin issues with the baby. So if this is a mother who has found a solution that was not readily on the market, I'm more likely to say, I want to try this. So honestly, you can sell your products and be faceless. Nobody will know it's you, but you're limiting the impact that the business would have. The thing is, most people haven't done the work of figuring out what their personal brand is. So they would come onto the business page and, you people, if you are coming to ask me, add please before you come into my business. That is what will affect your business. That's where your business will go down. But if you do the work of building a personal brand, when you launch the business, it literally is because Patty has built her personal brand that we are all turning to her for the business idea. So I'm sure that people with MBAs in the world that have more ideas than her, but they've not built their personal brand. So it's Patty the strategist we know. Do you understand? So when she is launching a product and she says, join my waitlist, you will join the waitlist because she has demonstrated it by building a brand. And it's obviously paying off for her. If somebody decides, I don't want anybody to know that it's me, honestly, there's no problem with it. You can be in your corner, but you'll be limiting the impact of your product, the visibility of your product, even the kind of opportunities that will come to you. Because for business owners, sometimes it's even by being at a round table like this, and someone will watch it and say, oh, she can do this. Let me reach out to her. But you're in your corner and no one knows you. So Reagan will know you as somebody who should come and interview. So build the personal brand. Then when you attach it to your business, it will fly. It's literally like, Patty's always talking about how a business is like an airplane and there are different parts that need to work. If this was like a bird, think of it like the wind behind your wings. It makes you fly higher. It makes things easier. When you walk into a room to pitch, it's easier because you've already sold them a pitch subtly online even before they meet you. So they enter the room and they're like, oh, I know you. That opens the door for you. So that's what I would tell every business owner. You don't need to develop a personal brand, but you're shooting yourself in the foot and reducing the amount of money you can walk away with if you don't build one.
I have a question.
Okay.
By all means.
You go ahead.
I have a question. I mean, on the same thing that you spoke about. That so for me, let me use myself as an example. People know me as on air. I do this and I do that, and I want to start a business. What would you advise? Would you advise that, I build the business? Also, I'm asking this also because as a person, as the media person, you'd already have your people that like you for why they like you, people that don't like you for why they like you. They don't like you. But if you're starting a business and you're carrying the same people to that side, doesn't it also limit it one way or the other? Because it's going to be people that like me that are going to want to buy the things that I'm going to, and maybe the people that I really want to reach out to are the people that maybe don't like me as a person on TV. So for me, if I want to start something like that, how would you advise? Do you advise that even though I have a personal brand, I can do that and hide behind it and say, okay, I am wearing this or I am using this from this brand, and eventually I show my face and say this is it? Or what would you advise in that kind of situation?
Let me add something to the question. Sorry. No. My question is still. Yeah, it's kind of like you mentioned that you don't need to make yourself the center of the business, which means that the business should be able to run without you, which is kind of what she's saying. Because with her face, if she starts a business, she will probably get people buying at the beginning, but for how long? Which means at a point in time, the people that don't know her are not going to come. And what happens if Adwoa Noella is no longer on TV?
TV, yeah.
Okay. So the first thing is, Adwoa Noella's brand is not TV. One part of Adwoa Noella is that she speaks on TV.
Yeah.
But if, for instance, today, God forbid, I'm not saying you should sack it. Like if you walk into the office and they say you're fired, do you think that instantly your Instagram following is going to plummet to zero? Why? Because they are following you because you're on TV, according to you. They're not. They're following you. They're following you because you are you.
Yeah.
And a part of that is on TV. So I don't think you should limit it to Adwoa, the media personality who is launching a business.
Yeah.
It's Adwoa who's launching a business. There are parts of it. I can understand why you think there are people who like me and there are people who don't like me. Newsflash, everyone has that. So I keep saying that for me, I have people who like me so much that it makes me wonder why. And then I have people who can't stand me so much that it makes me wonder, hey, that is fine. Everyone has that. The thing is to keep navigating your life and presenting value. Your people will find you. They will gravitate to what you have. The question of whether or not it will affect you is if, one, you are actually solving a problem. Because if your product isn't great, everybody will drag you. You know that drag always on TV is always talking. See, I bought a thing and it was So make sure that you are actually delivering value in the products that you are whatever it is you're going to do. If you're doing that, then your personal brand is a plus because even the people who hate you can't deny it. They'll say, okay, I don't like it, but I like it. Her jollof is nice, so I'll order it. So just deliver value. If you deliver value, your personal brand is a plus for whatever it is that you're doing. I don't think you should look at it as it's limiting you. The people are following you for this, so if I pivot to this. Of course, they would come. Even on my TikTok, I sang twice. Since then, every time I put up a branding video, someone comes into my comments and says, I followed you for musical. I actually plan to respond to his comments and release a singing video because I haven't sang in a while. But it's not because of him that I will suddenly stop pushing out the content I'm pushing out, because I have an objective for the content I'm pushing out. Do you understand? So don't think that I have to please the people who are following me, because the truth is after a while you become a puppet. Okay, the people want me to always dance, so I'll be dancing. The people want me. No, be you and be on the path that you want to be on. Consistently deliver value. Show your personality, show who you are. The people will gravitate towards you, even those who hate you.
Question answered.
I want to add. I want to add to that. I think one of the things we are missing is that she's saying you should be intentional about your personal brand does not mean that you're not also going to build a compelling corporate brand for the business. So you should tell the story so well and putting the value the business is creating so well that in itself is also attracting its own audience, the people who love it and all of that. Your personal brand becomes a plus, an addition, and establishing a certain level of credibility for the organization. Yeah.
Okay.
The way Reagan is looking at my face.
The question I asked is, I want to hear from you. Can a brand stand without a personal brand?
So I think everything Keni said, yes, it is. But I would also say that it depends on the kind of business you're trying to build. I've said this countless times that things are happening. I mean, it's so dangerous on the streets now. It's so scary.
Yeah.
A lot is happening. I mean, even when this Accra that we cannot mention here, you just be there, straight bullets, a business going down the drain. It's not a problem. But for me, I would say it depends on the kind of business you want to do, because by my experience, when I started Ashford, I didn't put it out there that I was the CEO of Ashford. Ashford was running as an ushering business on its own. Nobody knew. Though I can never forget this, because also there I posted on my WhatsApp status about Ashford. Somebody said, "Hey, you've been working with this people for a very long time, pal. They are paying you well."
You don't know you're the boss.
I'm like,
I didn't know pay you well.
oh no, I mean, like, yeah, when it started, I'm like, really? And that brought me some kind of joy, because in as much as people, I mean, Lucas will say that I'm building a beautiful brand. I love it that whatever I'm doing is being patronized for the uniqueness of that service, and not because you like Jannice. Because today, if my matter pie, all my 200 and whatever thousand followers will become haters. Or I mean, they'll become people who are judging you for whatever that happened. You understand? So me, I believe that look at whatever you're doing, right from the foundation of the business. Is this something we are doing for life? Is this something we are doing for generations? Is this something we are doing for the time being? You understand? If I'm doing something for generations, if I'm doing something that I want to build a legacy on, for starters, me, I will not start with my name. Not because I don't trust in the brand I've built, but trust me, I don't want to bet on anything. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm still finding myself. I'm still developing myself. I'm still trying to get to know myself. I will not start with that. But as she said, my brand will push it further, shape it, and make it look beautiful. But if whatever you're going to do for starters, needs you to make it stand, then show your face as it is. Because I think when it comes to something for fashion, right? You need a figure. Imagine I'm beautiful. I have boobs. I have
Imagine.
Please.
Okay.
I'm beautiful. I'm beautiful. What do you want to say? Say it. Let me say thank you for the compliment.
You're beautiful.
Yeah. So I'm beautiful. I have ass. I have boobs and all of that. I want to get into a fashion space. Why would I hire a model? Why would I pay a model? Why would I pay music and all of that? I am here. It might be hard, but that would be my sacrifice and investment into the business.
Right.
I have to be my own muse, model the clothes, model everything, be my own whatever, and then, be the dummy and then do whatever I've got to do. So for me, I'll say it depends on the type of business you're trying to build. Understand?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. So now this person has got the idea. They took practice blueprints. They've got the business. They heard from you. They have a personal brand. Now, there's a question someone asked today as a follow-up. This person has done all this thing. They are making money. Now, let me read the question. What advice would Patty, it was addressed to Patty, give to a business owner who has lost it all in terms of revenue and a good name, which is where the personal branding comes in, and has to start from ground zero? So the person did everything, the one did everything, and maybe a year later, will not be your portion in Jesus' name.
Amen.
In a year later, something goes wrong and they lose everything. What advice would you give to that person?
If you built it once, you can build it again. So let's evaluate what caused that. What caused you losing everything, your revenue and then the good name. I had a session yesterday and I used a brand as a case study. It's a beauty brand that is shutting down after about 7 years of being in existence. And it's not a problem that it's a funding problem, right? The business is, in my opinion, is heavily reliant on funding. That now that funding is not coming It's just some way. So find out what went wrong. Is it a problem? Is it a product problem? Is it a financing problem? Is it a knowledge gap? Is it a leadership problem? Can you mention the airplane? And if a pilot is not trained, there's no way they're going to allow him to fly the plane, right? So there's no way you should run your business. You should run your airplane without being certified as a pilot. So get that expertise of, like Jannice also said, the business of business. Get that expertise. So evaluate what caused this. Now, the good name part, you're going to have to do 10 times more work because your credibility is in the mud at the moment. So you have to do a lot more work for people to trust you. But bottom line is, if you've built something once and you saw success with it, the fact that it has ended, or the fact that it's you would term it as failed, does not mean that there weren't other success points. Do you understand? So pick the lessons and the expertise you've gotten out of what you built, and then find the next phase. Are you going to rebuild it? That can even be your new narrative, that I built it once. These are the loopholes I found, and this is what we are doing to make it better for you. And then I think you're good to go.
Now, we've all spoken about personal branding, and I think one thing we didn't do was explain what it is to them. But I want us to take it from a different perspective. What do you think people understand wrongly? Misconception. What's wrong ideas that I have about personal brand? Because me, to be honest, 2024, no personal branding was just me. Wake up, pick my phone, record a video, post it. Yeah, I'm showing for my life. But it looks like there's more to that than we know.
They think it is just when people think, okay, I'm taking a headshot and then and you know, I went to Unscripted and I did a BTS video and I posted it. And so people know that I know Reagan and I know the people here. For most of us, I think it's one of the reasons why personal branding gets a bad rap is because for a lot of people, it just looks like settings and aesthetics. She came, she has done her hair, she has sat down, she has talked. Okay, she has done a video walking away. Okay, she has done this. That's it. The main point of the personal brand is the person. That person. Who are you? What are you good at? What kind of value can you deliver? Who's your target audience? At every point in time, does that audience see you and the value you are giving? Which is why I said you've put out the video. What is the video saying? Is the video showing you speaking so that people know that you're a public speaker? Or the video is showing you that you shot it? Okay, maybe your angle is fashion. If it is, fine. Let's all get ready with me. But there should be purpose for whatever it is you are doing. It should be in line with the values you have, the skills you have, and the one thing that I think most people miss out on, why you want to get to. There should be a destination. There should be a purpose for that post. Every single thing you see on my socials, on my YouTube, on my website, on my WhatsApp status, it's not just vibes. Because every single time that you interact with my content, I'm sowing a seed in your head about who I am. You're getting an idea of who I am, the kind of values so there are parts of my life you will not see on my socials because I'm not using that to push any agenda for you. So you won't see it. I'm showing you the things that show my skills, that show you the values I'm interested in, that shows you the kind of place I want to go to. And I'm making sure that I'm putting it in ways that demonstrates all of that value in places that my target audience will see it. So for most of us, we forget about who is supposed to see this thing. Who are the people who are supposed to see my value? Who are the people that need to know about my skills? Who are the people I need to network with and learn from so that it even adds an extra layer of credibility for me? Most of us just think it's the photos. I've done a video. I was at this event. Okay, I took a selfie with the president. There must always be an intention. And that's what most of us miss. And that's why a lot of CEOs and employers would say, your CV is fantastic, but you came to stand in front of me, there's no substance. Because you haven't shown that there are no skills that you're actually developing. Yes, the packaging looks great. Yes, I've sent you my stuff. You looked online. You know, these days you can ask AI to say, who is this person? They'll give you a nice digital footprint. But if you meet the person and the skills don't match what they've put out, that layer of authenticity, if it's missing, it won't help you to get to the destination you say you want to get to. So for most of us, we miss it. We don't think about the intention for putting out the content. We don't think about what kind of story we are telling with the content we are putting out. We don't think about who needs to see it, who needs to know us, who do we need to know. We don't think about that. It's just vibes. And then the last thing is constantly evaluating, because sometimes you put out something and, okay, the feedback that you get from that target audience is not what you're expecting. Go back, evaluate. So personal branding is work. It is work. And I think most people just think, it's vibes. Once we do it, it opens doors for you. So let's just keep doing it. But if you open the door and you get to that point and you're not delivering value, one, your reputation is in the mud. Two, it closes the door for other people who are genuinely doing the work. Because a CEO would say, no, don't bring me anybody that has a digital footprint, because they obviously can't do the work. You don't want that. And the thing is, people always carry on the message to one person or another, and you have to do the work to rebuild. But don't think of it as just aesthetics. Always have an intention, have a destination in mind, and use that to chart that path. If you don't do that, you would be all over the place and you will not be delivering any value.
I think this is similar to what you said to Derek about people appear a certain kind of role, and in person they are different. Someone can be in person, where they see you, hello, but then on social media, they are coming off us. And it has to do with being authentic, being yourself.
Yeah.
Certain people are coming on social media to fake it.
Yeah.
And thinking that's personal branding. Anyways, I'll still ask that question.
Please, before you pivot, the fake it till you make it. We also hear that in personal branding.
Okay.
Especially because I was talking about authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
I carry myself in a way that reflects where I want to get to, not where I am now. So there is a layer of fake it until you make it, but it shouldn't be empty faking. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
So I'm not where I want to be, but I'm carrying myself like I'm already there so that I can prepare myself, I can attract the opportunities, because when it comes, I better be ready. So that's my take on fake it till you make it. But if it's just shepherd, but there's nothing under it, yeah, that one is not okay.
So, Keni has said a lot. I don't know if I saw it somewhere, but I'm sure I learned it from somewhere. Then let's change the word and let's say we are faith in it.
We are faith in it. I agree. Let's focus on so we make
still mention the fake. It will look as if, for those who don't really understand whatever we are doing, those who like looking at trailers before they watch the movie, they will think we are still endorsing that. But yeah, let's say we are faith in it to remake it. And people think personal branding is just about aesthetics, visual identity. But funny enough, it's just a part of it. It's just a visibility part of it that pushes you, okay? Because regardless, you still need visibility. But per experience and all of that, we're in an era where society is looking for rewarding and awarding not experts, not even timeless authorities, but they're rewarding people who are being visible. They're rewarding people who are sharing their thoughts and knowledge on whatever they know. Understand me? And that should tell you that, okay, then personal branding is playing a role, because it got to a point, I started wondering, I'm like, okay, not to say it's not fair. I mean, I love the opportunities that some of us get. Yes, let me say you, at our age, the opportunities that some of us get and all of that. And we know there are people who have done it way before us, who have so much experience, who have so much certification, professionally, hands-on experience. Like, you feel like somebody deserves it more than you. But why are you getting it? It's just that visibility.
And so then they think, okay, then visibility or the visual aesthetics and all of that is what personal branding is. But it goes way beyond me. When it comes to personal branding, if you ask me, we're going to go into the inner self and outer self dilemma. It's a lot. Getting to know who you are, that's a whole book on its own.
Yep.
Even before finding your niche. Because if you go to my socials now, I think I've reduced the time I spend on, trying to create content and all of that for people to understand what I'm doing, blah, 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 blah. Because I feel that we'll do virtual. Even virtual, you have a feel of me. We'll talk and all of that. In person, you have a feel of me and all that. Now we'll meet in person. What you said you can do it and let's see. Say it and let's see. So no matter what, people will identify this person, whether I'm showing up or not. We're not saying visibility is not important, but whether I'm showing up or not, I have grounded or established or built something in the minds of people that they know who I am and what I do. They know what I believe in. They know why they'll come to me. I think one guy made my head swell recently. He was doing something on, I don't know how to term it. Let me say, it has to do with aeronautics or, all of that thing that had to do with flight and all that. And he came to me and I was like, but me, what experience do I have? I did my service at the airport. Doesn't mean I know anything about the flight and all that. Then he was like, he was having a meeting with his team. And when it came to the branding bit of it, they were mentioning Jannice, but he didn't want them to know that he knew Jannice. Then he said, who doesn't need Jannice? My head was like swollen a bit in a way. I was like, okay, then that means your name is definitely being mentioned in places where they've either experienced or they've heard what you're capable of doing. So this is to say that the visuals, yes, it would push you, make you fly and all of that. But when you get there and you are not worthy of whatever you're talking about, you fall down.
Yeah.
So personal branding is just not about aesthetics. It's way deeper than that.
Yeah, I like what you said about visibility, because there are a lot of people that can do things. Like you said, sometimes the projects will come to you, but know that there's definitely someone better.
Yeah.
But they're not be putting themselves out there. Now, in a social media era, how can a business be intentional about social media and using it to their advantage?
We need to find the people that have the money, right? The people that have the money we are looking for in exchange for whatever it is we are selling. There are so many different avenues to reach them. You can reach them in the open market. You can reach them at an event, whatever it is. Social media happens to be one of the channels, right? Let me take us a little bit back. Something like the personal branding. Social media is a channel to amplify your personal brand, right? So there has to be an understanding of, this is what I have. Even outside of social media, people love it. It means that when I add the element of technology, I can reach a lot more people. Do you understand? So that I can serve more and then make more money. So that's I think is a good foundation to have. Now, people do not come to social media. That is not their primary reason for going on social media to shop. That's not the primary reason. There's a reason, it's called social. The primary reason people are usually coming on social media is to entertain themselves, ease of stress, before finding information, looking for something to buy and all of that. Now we've been trained to look for, if you're looking for a product, the likelihood that you go to Instagram or TikTok shop is higher than even going to Google. So now it's become like a thing. It's become part of the culture. But the primary reason people are coming there is to find something that makes them happy, find a solution, like I mentioned. So how can you present the solution in a way that fits into what they're looking for? So yes, you have your physical products or your services, but how can I present the solution this product is selling in a way that appeals to what they are already looking for? So I am online, I'm probably looking for a way to de-stress. And I'm thinking that, oh, let me go and find a funny video from somebody to watch. But then there's probably a spa business that is teaching me or telling me how I can de-stress. And one of the ways I can do that is by booking a certain massage or booking a certain service. So yes, you are selling the solution in a way, but you are not actively putting the products in the faces of the people. Then it will make it easy for them to say, let me just go, I don't need this now. But if you come from the perspective of solution, it's easier for you to get their attention. That does not mean that you should also eliminate the element of hard selling, where you talk about what you're doing and how it can benefit us. Yeah, I think that is my 2 cents.
I want to come back to personal branding. We've mentioned it's not just vibes and luck and all that, right? But is there kind of like a rule to it? Because I feel like, when we take business, there are certain things you don't have to do in a business, even though you can experiment and all that. So when we take personal branding, is there kind of like certain rule book, let me say, that people need to follow, people need to have in mind?
My 2 rules of thumb would be consistent. I'm sure if you ever watch these kind of videos, you'd see that a drop of water can only do so much. But if that same water keeps hitting the exact same spot, it can literally cast to metal. I find that for a lot of us, we are not being consistent with what value we bring. We are not being consistent with what we can be associated with. And that's why it looks like we're all over the place, or we are projecting something that we are not. So be consistent with what you're putting out. It should be so much so that, in my case, when I started talking about governance comms, I didn't think I was doing it as and when. Then I think towards last year, I started doing it every now and then. And then the change of government happened, and the president was going to give his acceptance speech. And 4 people on Twitter tagged me and said, what do you think he's going to say? And then after he spoke, someone asked me, what did you think about what he said? And I'm like, it has worked. Because I didn't think that there were this many people taking notice of me consistently talking about governance comms, to the extent that they are asking me what I think he will talk about. And then now that he has spoken, they're asking me what I think about what the president of the Republic has said. I was like, okay, then it means that it's working. The second thing is be authentic. And because we are girls on the table, I'm sure we all know how, when you're wearing something... Because we are girls on the table, I'm sure we all know about how it feels when we're wearing something and it doesn't sit right. So when it's not your size, or maybe the shoe is not, maybe it's small, it's tighter, or you get it.
Yeah.
Okay. So be authentic. If you don't fit into what it is, we can tell. When you're walking in a shoe and it's tight, we can all tell that you're hobbling a bit. If the skirt is short, so you're shifting it every 5 seconds, we can tell. So be authentic. Don't present something that you're not. So if I came to say I'm selling a financial course, that's very inauthentic. No, please. That's not my strength. So be consistent and be authentic. I find that if you do that, in all the things, whether it's in putting out content or networking or leveraging connections, whatever it is, that's how you build it for it to be foolproof. That's what I think.
So I believe you're asking then, what is personal branding all about, right? To talk about that. Yeah, misconceptions. I don't think there's a certified blueprint to doing the whole personal branding thing. There really isn't, right? When it comes to the visual part of it, when it comes to the amplification part of it and all of that, then we can embed certain systems from other places to make it happen. But as to what personal branding itself it is, you are the product.
Okay.
You are the product. And what's the whole concept of personal branding? For us to say something unique about you, for you to leave a mark or a dent on us, for you to leave an impression that when you ask me who Reagan is, the attributes I will give about Reagan, ripple effect on other people saying the same thing. That shows you the unique qualities or attributes that Reagan has. And that is what we'll be looking forward to every time we engage with him. And that is what personal branding is to me. So you go back to knowing yourself.
I had an argument with one man. I'm really surprised where he got that expertise. He's an architect, but I think he does a lot of marketing and all of that. And that day, I was even hot because we were talking about personal branding. He saw me drafting certain things and he threw a question to me. I answered. Then he mentioned one of our public figures in Ghana whose images are always used for like advertisement, blah, blah, blah. Then he threw a question to me that, does this person have a very good personal brand? Hey, that didn't meeting it. And I was like, oh yeah, personal brand. He was like, why? I could not answer. I'm like, why? He said, what can you say about the person? He said, the person doesn't have a personal brand. The person's face is being bought to advertise. So that person, in actual sense, doesn't have a personal brand. He or she is a model being paid to model for the brand or the company. So
That's his personal brand.
maybe do you understand?
Yeah.
He said that person is being paid to model for the company. Paid, that's it. But what are we getting from that person? What do you have to say about that person? Any comments? No comments. Then there's no personal brand there.
Architects, no,
And I'm saying architect brand. I was like, wow. So it goes back. Know yourself. As Keni said, you can't use one day to know yourself. That is why I'm keeping journals from when I was 15 years. You can't use one day to know yourself, but it's a journey. It's a process. And there are ways to help you keep intact and in touch with yourself to know that, am I still in line and in tune? What you want to do is different from what you want the world to know you for. Or what you're capable of doing is different from what you want the world to know you for. I'm capable of doing so many things. But as I'm sitting here, all I want the world to know me for is for my philanthropy work. That's why I'm still building my Alliance for Women Economic Development. Like, that's my baby for life. That's what I want the world to know me for. Because as I said in the beginning, I had a thing for governance, and UN was like one of the places that I was. That's the place, like UN, Secretary General. Kofi Annan was my person. You understand me? So it comes back. In as much as I'm still roaming, I'm making sure I'm still aligned as to what I still want to do. So knowing yourself, inner and outer self, it's not that you'll be speaking nicely to us on the camera because the camera is set and you're going to the camera. We're meeting the person, you'll be throwing tantrums, doing this, doing that, doing that. We go back to our business. If you are selling, I will not buy. And no matter how good your food tastes, it will get to a point that service delivery party was talking about, it will affect that good food. And no matter how good it is, we will still not buy it. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So, personal branding, my darlings, know yourself, understand yourself, know what you want to do, know what you want the world to know you for. Put, how do I say it, a demarcation between the two so you know how to move. And when you come out, we'll see you as Dennis as you are. We'll see you as Amma as you are. And when you are working, we'll still see you as whatever you are and not as a different person. That's it for me.
Wow, thank you so much. The way party is moving, I want to be sure she does say something.
No, they've said it all.
Okay. Now, it's interesting how all these things are tied together. Social media, personal branding, business. Like, it's like you just said, if you don't do it well, you see you in person, you're just talking anyhow, affect the personal branding, affect the business if you know that you're even a face of it. Let's take digital and traditional media, the media space in general. If you have the power, what do you think will change? What do you think is going wrong? And I'm asking this question because we all know what happened recently in Ghana. And I think some of the bloggers, some of the media platforms didn't really do a good job. And I was in my room that I was thinking, I never went to school for anyone to give me media training that, if this happened, do this.
You do this.
You get it. And that was why I asked the question about if there's a route to personal branding. Because sometimes, and I like what Keni is also doing about dragging the government. They didn't have the power to drag armed forces. Power.
Please, I didn't drag anybody. I was just teaching a lesson on crisis comms. I beg you.
Right. I feel like it's not being taught, so people don't know what to do. You can't blame them. I feel like certain things come to certain people because it has not been taught. They're just doing certain things. So if you have the power, let's just take the social media space, the traditional media space. If you have the power, what would you change? This is also saying that then I'm
But I think before we answer, I want to ask, And we're like, hush.
Hmm.
In your industry, in your space, you guys have ethics? You know, because
Do you know that was what I wanted to say? But I was trying to get this.
Wow, why are you using that as my
Why you
throwing shots
No, it's a
at
good
my
question.
industry?
No, because as you were saying,
Yeah.
I was frustrated. I'm like, wait, how'd you guys do it? I mean, in as much as everybody wants to break the news first,
Mhm.
aren't there any guiding principles to it that these things, this is how we handle it, these things, this is how we go across? Because I have not lived in the United States for years or whatever, but as I always say, like, we can learn from every point we are. There's certain movies I've watched and I've realized that in the States, in Europe, if you go against media ethics, see, your license and everything can be put down.
Yeah.
It can be taken away from you.
Yeah.
But here, everybody free bondo. Like, everybody just, like, you know, we do whatever we want to do. There's no organization. It's like everybody just comes up with their idea. Recently, one of the media, I mean, he was like, he threw a shot at one of the media presidents and said he should sew a uniform for his team. And I'm like, that's just by the way. But how do we go about it? If I were to be in position, I'm saying it, if you make me minister of media, then. God damn it. If you post what you're not supposed to post, your license will be taken down. Wherever you are, we will find you. I mean, it's not going to be like JJ's time where, yeah, we'll hunt you like that. But whatever you do, you'll be held accountable for it. Let's practice some ethics because every industry has its ethics. Yeah. For me, that's my little thing.
Let's hear from Adwoa. Yes, please.
I mean, there are ethics for everything.
Yeah.
But you find yourself in a very difficult position when you trying to follow the ethics clashes with what people are looking for or what flies. Because again, social media and what you put out there, it thrives on numbers. You know, it thrives on who has it first. I want to see. You know, so sometimes you don't have the time to stop and think and say, okay, I have this picture. I have this picture. I have that picture. Am I supposed to post this now? Is it supposed to go out? Even though I want to be the first to break the news, which of these am I supposed to post? What situation are we talking about? You know, all these kind of thinkings and things. It also goes again to structure, because if there are no structures in place to say, okay, maybe there's a group, for example, maybe there's a group that these things are taken to before you post it. So you go on the scene, you take the pictures, you drop all the pictures in the group. The person's supposed to post it. There are different people in the group. They say, okay, post A, B, C, don't post D. If all these things are not in place, then you find yourself finding people who just, as soon as it comes, they're just posting it on those things. I mean, luckily for me, there are a lot of structures when it comes to social media and what goes out and all of those kind of things. I don't want to use this example. There was recently that something that wasn't supposed to go out went out. I mean, eventually, if you think about it, so it's not the person's fault, but it went out and it caused a problem, and the people in charge were penalized.
Okay.
Now, it won't happen like that in every space. Some people, like I say, they're thriving on numbers. I'm the first person that go to using the recent situation as an example. I got there first. I have the exclusives. I want to post it so everybody will see that I am the one. And again, credibility. Everybody's looking for credibility. Trust me. I can do it for you. Book me. I can do that. They're building their personal brand. You know, so when you're not able to look at all the things that you have to go through before delivering what you're supposed to deliver, then you have a clash. Because again, it's media. There's a lot of freedom on social media. I can post whatever I want to post. I can do whatever I want to do. But you have to consider the space that you're in. If it was your own personal page, you could have posted whatever you wanted to post. But now you're an organization. The organization stands for something. You're trusted for something. They know you in the space for something. Just because you have the pictures first doesn't mean that you're just supposed to post it, because there's so many people in that circle that is going to affect in the end. I will see this and say, these people, I'm not going. They don't call me for an interview. Someone will just decide that if they call me for an interview, I won't go again. Because why? Anything that happens there, they're just going to post it. They don't think about me. If I'm sitting here, like for example, if I'm sitting here and maybe a strand in my hair is falling or I'm looking a certain way, nobody cares about me. Everybody wants to show that, hey, you guys look at this girl. She came to sit here and then her hair is falling off and she didn't even. Do you get it? So it's a lot of things that are that have to be considered. Ethics are there, but also you're fighting with credibility. You're fighting with numbers. You're fighting with I want to see this first because again I see it first and then it is everywhere. This person posts it first, and people don't even take time to even look through. One of the pictures that were posted on that day that you can see a lot of people saying they should put down all of those things. I didn't even get time to look through properly until it got to a point where I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh,
This is not good.
This is not supposed to be here. Like you are not even supposed to take the picture. Do you get it? But not everybody has that inner, correction to tell you that you need to be careful about what why are you even taking the picture? Like, what do you want to do with the picture? No, I mean, all these things, there are different people and there are different home trainings and there are different ethics that personally you have. But you have to align those ones with the space that you're in and all of this. So the ethics, they are there. Plenty. But when it comes to putting out, again, what are people looking for? Are people looking for the person who will tell the story the right way and give you the facts and the figures? Or they're looking for the person that will just say it as it is and not just do anything, and they're saying it anyhow in which way? You're fighting your credibility with what they're looking for. So it's a very dicey space, to be very honest, but you have to be guided. Very, very guided with a fear of God.
Raygan, I want to say something.
Please go ahead.
I think that we have a fundamental problem in this country, and that's what has seeped into digital media and traditional media. The culture in this country is, nothing matters, it's okay, anything goes. And that is why we are where we are. If we were a country that took, first of all, you don't do this. If you do it, there are repercussions for it. It's not just repercussions, there are consequences that even affect people who are associated with you. Everyone will come correct. Because yesterday and a number of in a number of instances, you'd hear people say, this would never happen in China. This would never happen in the US. This would never because they've put the structures in place. If I know that even if I take a picture and I put it up, there will be direct repercussions that will impact my work. That will impact, if people hear my name, they'll say, are you related to the person who did that? It will whip people in line because as human beings, we naturally do what works for us until you put restrictions and rules in there. So I find the situation we are discussing is a failing on the part of all of us who are supposed to be custodians for culture in this country. People who hold their stories the right thing to do, they die without their stories being documented. So everyone just does vibes. We do what works for us. Then when you do it, everyone just does and we move on. So we reinforce it's okay to get away with doing whatever it is. That's why our politicians steal our money, do all the corrupt things that they do, repackage every 2.5 years and come back and we vote for them. Because if they know that once my name is associated with a scandal, that's the end of the road for me, you would see how there would be efforts to make sure that I'm not caught in a certain place because I want to do politics. Unfortunately, there are no rules, and that is what is seeping into everything. That's why we pour rubbish into gutters. That's why we cross the road wherever we want to. That's why the church stops. That's why we come to work late. It's seeping into everything. And that is why it's also manifests online. If I go into a place and I take a picture, by all means, I should have an inner witness telling me this is not appropriate to post anywhere. If I post it, my bosses should give me no, you shouldn't post this. People on social media should drag me for posting it. But what do we see? The person who posts first goes viral. And then you see that they are getting the most posts. That's why today we have bloggers that go into every single space holding a camera in everybody's face because that's what will give them the value. We are embedding that culture, and very soon we'll get to a point where there's literally no privacy because we've made it okay. if we got to the point where it's like, no, you should know what your basis is. By now, the GJA should have like rules of how bloggers should navigate content creation, especially in the public space. I tweeted about this yesterday, 2 days ago. I don't understand where this new phase of wherever a politician goes, there's a blogger reporting live of what they are doing. Because there are so many angles with whatever you're presenting that you need to curate, especially in the space of public service. But we don't have that. Everything is as and when we go. That's why I will constantly drag the NCC, because they are the ones supposed to teach, the National Commission on Civic Education. They're supposed to teach us this is wrong, this is right. But we don't hear at least I don't hear anything. So we go with the vibes. That's why we are where we are with digital media and traditional media. If we put in the rules, everyone will follow the rules. It's not because anyone wants to be a school prefect, but if there are no rules, like, society will collapse. Yeah. Even the US that you're saying that they would never do this, or it's because they've put it in the culture. Even if it's not being taught, like, hi, if you see something, don't take it. Even in the movies, they find a way to seep in the culture of what should be done. Yep. So when there's a situation, you do the right thing. I'm sorry, this has become around, so I'm going to stop in that.
No, but for me, to add up to what you're saying, right? I'm lacking a word in like policy making, governance, regulations, and all of that. But it's just the way we lack maintenance culture to a certain level in this country. Even when it comes to policies, regulations, and all of that. I mean, after I'm turning to you because you understand that bit. After all of that is set, we need to see to implementation, right?
Exactly.
We need to see to it. But it's like here, even when it comes to security, right? They'll be telling you that, so what's that? What is it? What's that? No, I understand that bit. But I don't know what's I'm trying to so me.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Why does it have to get that far? Can't we be held accountable as such when each and every time, each and every point? It's gotten to a point where nowadays, when bloggers even post certain things, people will be commenting, is this news?
Yeah, true.
Like I've seen it on so many bloggers. There's one that allow me to mention, Post Ghana. There are certain comments I've seen under some of their posts recently. People are like, you guys, don't you have content? It should tell you something from the people that they're expecting more from you. Not this. What you were saying right now with the government's personnel or something. Fine, you're posting the person, but what's in the caption?
Yeah.
Honorable, then walking to off in the office, and so what? If you're telling me about what he's doing that day, purpose, where he is, whatever he's getting done and everything, then I can find value in whatever you've posted because you're communicating to us whatever he's doing in office and all of that. But you just post him, he's going, holding his bag, going his shoe, then we'll be capturing from his shoe up to whatever he's wearing, and then the letter bag gets ready with me. Like, that's not why we put you in office, or I don't think that's why you are appointed. Do you understand? So as she was saying, if there's a way content can be even regulated, to let them know that this is what's supposed to go out. Even if you want to put this out, this is how it should be communicated. It would really make some sense. When it comes to that point, I think some of us will even become very emotional and then very patriotic citizens because we really have problems with that topic.
Sorry. I think that there's also an education problem where because these media roles, a lot of them are not regulated, anybody can just get in there. Because sitting in one comms class, I know that when there's a crisis, there's a way that information has to be put out, right? And so if you went to school for it, then you should know how it's done. Maybe you've forgotten. But there's also the problem with our educational system where we are going to school to write exams and pass. And so we are not actively picking the things that we need to pick to apply to the professions that we are in. So if we take something like the bloggers, right? If you think that starting a blog is, it's very easy. You need your phone and then consistently putting out news, updates and all of that. You start getting followers and then you are established as a blogger. You recruit people and then you show them how to go viral, how to get views without being educated. So I think the fundamental problem, apart from all the other things mentioned, is the education bit of things. That if you choose to go into this space, then go and get official education on it. And you can do it properly for us to be able to live as a nation in a way that communication, especially when it comes to things like grief, can be communicated in a way that is ethical. That's all I wanted to add. Education is very important.
We need more of this. I mean, we've spoken about personal brand. We need more people to come out to be intentional about some of these things.
Yeah.
Like I said, I like what Keni was doing on that. And I was also like, this is a very good content because this is not something they're going to teach you in school.
Mm.
Maybe they can, because, I mean, you don't need 3 months to educate people on these things. So I think, like before said, the government and even individuals as ourselves need to be intentional about some of these things with what we are doing. Because I think when I was talking to Keni early in our friendship or mother and son relationship, trying to put it that way, she was telling me about having a voice in wherever you were. And I think everybody sitting on this table has a voice. Someone watching, I think he said something on Connected Minds that not everybody is an influencer, but everybody can be an influencer. Yeah. And I think people need to be, you don't have to have the numbers. You can talk about some of these things because whatever that comes to the comment section, they'll be like, is this news? This. I mean, some of them have comments or opinions they can share about this thing. So thank you guys so much. There's one last question I have, but we'll go to the community. We'll ask 3 questions and then we'll come back to that question later.
So my question is on authenticity. A lot of people, or I've had conversations with people when they ask me what's authenticity, I tell them. But some way, somehow, people seem to think authenticity is putting every aspect of your life online. It means that you're authentic. So I want you guys, any of you, to tell us what authenticity is. Does it mean putting all your life on social media or putting what you want people to see per the brand, how you want people to perceive you online, but doing that truthfully?
Okay. So it's not about putting out everything. For me, when it even comes to personal brand storytelling, it's not about putting everything about your life out there. It's about putting what matters out there. Because I'm someone who wants to make an impact, I don't see the essence of God making me go through all the things I went through, not to share the testimony. So I'm sharing the testimony for you to know what happened to me and how I've been redeemed through God, through my efforts, through work, et al. You understand me? So it's not about sharing everything. If there's a part that matters to you that you think, when I share this story, I want to encourage somebody, I want to tell somebody something, you say it. Authenticity is just about being real. Mm-hmm. That's all. We've been discussing this from the onset. Just be real. And that's what authenticity is all about. Me, I don't... So it's like, hey, it's okay. Just be real. Just be real.
All right. Anybody else?
I mean, it's more of, she asked 2 questions. It's more of the latter, which is putting what you want to put out there truthfully. Okay. So whatever personal brand you want to build, like you said, whatever you think is necessary to put out there, just put it out there the way it is. You know, so much so that you don't find yourself at a point where they come, they like the brand that they see, they come, and then it's not the same value they're getting on the other side. So it's putting what you want to put out there, but in the very truthful and, you know, the best way that it's supposed to be. Yeah.
I want to top up to this, but from the point of what Jannice said about I've been through things, and so I want to share the testimony. I think that it's very true that authenticity sells. So you realize that if you watch on TikTok, someone will do a story time of when one time I was abused by a minister. Everybody will follow the story, even if it's like 10 parts, because people can connect to the story and people feel like, okay, then I must also open my secrets and come and say something so that I will get the following and get that tag of authenticity. But I really like what you said about being deliberate about the kind of impact that you want to make. And I think that should be our North Star when it comes to determining what to put out there. Because there have been places, when I worked in governance, I didn't make it public knowledge that I worked there because of the field I was working in and because of the things that I was known for doing personally. But now that I'm out of the space, I carry the that value and that experience into what I do today.
Yeah.
That's my way of carrying it, because in governance, I can't, while I'm working in comms, actively be tweeting and saying, why have they not put out? No, you don't do that. So there's a place and time for knowing when a certain experience or let me just leave it as experience, is relevant for a certain audience. And you have to be careful with how you present that information, because you never know. You may expose something you shouldn't have exposed in your authenticity that will open up certain things for other people. You may have ended up exposing a part of yourself that will give a certain perception about you to other people. So by all means, yes, be authentic, but be circumspect in what you're doing. Think about it. I always say that if someone takes a screenshot of what I've said or what I've done and puts it up against my name and puts it on a billboard, will I be embarrassed in any way? If I will be, then no. Then there's something I need to edit. There's something I need to change. So yes, you're authentic, you're angry, so you're insulting somebody. If I take a screenshot of that and one day you're running for MP and someone pulls it up and you are like insulting women, and today you're saying you are the champion for women.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So by all means, be authentic, but be circumspect. Think about the impacts on the person, your person. When you're done sharing and everyone's like, oh, helpful, and they go, you would have to deal with the repercussions of what you've shared. So that's what I'll add.
Yeah. That's nice. Take the second question.
My name is Kingsley. You can also call me Creative K. And my question is directed to the topic of personal branding. Where do you actually draw the line between your personal brand and your business? I'm asking this question based on an experience where a coach of an NGO he's a life coach, that's his personal brand, and he's actually a president of an organization where it caters mainly youth, and he's also moving, like his brand is also move towards youth. So how does he actually draw the line between his brand relating to youth and also the business he's also running, also catering to youth? Yes, that's my question.
So when it comes to the youth, what does he do? Like the youth?
So he actually has a coaching program for them where he actually like guides them through like their own journey. And also the NGO also has a part he also plays with programs they have and other things they do.
So the NGO is for the youth?
Yes. And he
youthful programs?
Yes.
And he as a person, he's into life coaching?
Yes. And he's actually the president of the NGO.
Of the NGO?
Yes.
The youth, don't we need life coaching? We really need this.
So then what he's saying is there's like a conflict of interest sort of.
I don't necessarily think it's a conflict
That's
of
what
interest.
I'm trying to say. Like, with the example you are giving us,
He being the
there's no
president of the
conflict.
Okay.
It can even be clearly synced.
Okay.
Do you understand? So for me, in this instance, there's no
So
I think
drawing.
so. Top of mind, I am thinking that he noticed that he still wants to be able to make impact, but there are people who can't afford his services, because if he's a life coach, I'm sure his rates are pretty expensive. With the kind of impact you need to see in your life, maybe you need to book a 3 months coaching package, and that's usually is pricey. So establishing the NGO gives him the ability to reach more people and also gets him funding from other organizations. It's easier for sponsors to fund a company than fund a person. Do you understand? So I think that is what happened, that he created the NGO to serve a specific audience that cannot afford him directly, and there's somebody funding that side.
Are you answered?
Yeah, but the main point is the people in the organization who are literally ambassadors of the organization relate to him more. Like they see him as the forefront. They don't really see maybe if we are to do something, they rather look at him. They don't really relate to the organization as it should.
Look, I think
I want to understand your question, right? In bringing it to you,
yes.
in bringing and applying it to you, like, how do you want to apply this to you so that it will help us recommend?
to me personally, because so the thing is, we were trying to make a rebrand of how things run in the organization. We found that the NGO, and we found that people listen to the president more.
Do you work in this NGO?
Yes. Yeah, and they listen to him more because, like, if we are trying to do something, we are not getting the energy from the people to get the things done.
Is it team members?
Yes. So, like, the ambassadors wholly. Yeah.
This is not branding.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had issues with what you're talking about. There are people that find it hard to see themselves as CEOs and delegate work to people. So if they are not there, people cannot do the work. If they are not on field, people can't do their work. When they leave, everybody is just relaxing. And I think that's what you're talking. I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, so how then do we get that separation?
That one is not your job. It has to do with him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it has to do with him. He needs to find how do I say it? He needs to draw the line you were talking about.
The line has
I
not been drawn.
understand the line. He needs to draw the line as the head of whatever. And when it comes to the organization, we're a whole team. We're a whole organization. So I can be president, I can delegate, I can do this, give advice and all of that. But I need to give people the opportunity to equally work. Because when you don't do that too, the other team members don't get respect.
Yeah.
If you give them work, say this, take care of this, handle this, they'll not respect them unless boss is there to handle it. So it's a him issue. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Take a third one.
I'm Caleb, and on social media, I'm Elikem Kimberly. So my question is somewhat related to what the guy just asked. So I'm a designer. I work with different brands. And then usually when I'm working with a client, I try to be like, put myself in the shoes of the business owner. So there are times where like people call me, like the mashke example we were talking about. I've worked with this person who sells mashkenke. She has flavors and all that. So people see me like mashkira. Because even though I'm just a designer, I try to put myself in the shoes of that person. I've worked with other people, and then it's like people see me like you, like maybe you are the business owner or you work like I identify as that, and then it brings the problem where it's like another mashke seller wants to work with me, but the fact that I've put myself out there for the first person, now. That money, I'm not getting it. Yes. So,
interesting.
How do I go about that? Because the second person who is coming sees it like, oh, you are associated with this person. And I like the way you did that work. So I want you to do the same thing for me. But now it's like you're selling two different mashke. So how would I go about that?
And you're a designer.
Yes. So maybe even though I'm designing for the person, I'm posting about it. And everybody knows that you did this. And it's like, I am the one. Some people even think I'm the one.
Yeah.
Thank you, fashion designer for this one.
Graphic designer.
Oh, okay, graphic designer.
So people even think I'm the one who owns the business.
Actually,
Then
that's
that's
one
the
of the
question.
I drink a lot.
I'm not having posting with a lot.
I think I have a question. How
Yes.
far do you go?
How far
In terms of like pushing them.
Pushing the person's brand.
Okay, so I'll say in my circle, people see like I'm always. It's not like it's not out there like because my reach.
Right. So on
Yes.
your social media, how
Yes.
far do you go?
How far do I?
Do you
go?
just
Like,
post
what kind of
do you just post a
posts do you do?
flyer of what you've done on your story?
Okay, so I'm advertising my work, guys. See what I've done,
Right.
and I'm also like, this mask is very nice.
Ah,
That is what
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a communication thing.
Yeah.
How you position it is very important. Again, we spoke about what's the purpose of this post that you're doing. Is it to promote? Is it to become a promoter
Yeah.
or to attract other people who would believe that you can do this for them?
Yeah.
So that influences the kind of content you put out. So if you want to show us your expertise, then you're telling us, okay, this was the client's brief. This is what my thought process is, and this is what we came up with. And based on this, in the last 4 months since we rebranded, she sold 1,000 bottles of mashke.
Yeah.
So it's easier for me to trust you. It doesn't feel like you are so loyal to this brand that you may sabotage my work for that person.
I have another question.
Okay.
Is the mashke they give you, does it at any point cater to how much you charge them? Is it like a barter?
No, so she's like, oh, thank you for your work. Even though the money aspect is...
So they
understood.
pay you in full?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But like, she's just grateful for the fact that
So he's
I'm also
promoting
helping
extra
people.
food. What's
Leave
the
the
extra
food.
mashke?
Okay.
Leave the graceful dish.
Okay.
I'm giving it to you.
Yes.
Keep it in your house and drink it.
All right.
Don't go on social media and tell people that, because that's why the problem is coming.
All right.
Because now you are drinking and you are banking your whole life
On that mashke.
Yes.
when you haven't been paid to do that. If you're an influencer and that's what you're doing, that's different. People know that, okay, you influence different brands. And so even with that, if you influence one mashke and another mashke wants to come to you, you have to check. Do you understand? So now that you're a graphic designer, you don't have any business
Advertising the sweetness of the
advertising.
mashke.
I mean, I know that it's your own small way of, but you can do it on the other side of recommending her to people, other than putting yourself inside and posting it out there. So you can just push your flyer, collect it, say thank you to, and then tell this person next, oh, I think this girl's mashke is nice. Try it. Let them be the ones to do that. Don't be the ones to do that.
Okay, so my job is to design, not to promote.
Design and post your design.
Right.
And then
Design and talk about your work.
Exactly. Based on how colorful your designs were. Like she said, she was able to sell maybe 1,000 bottles in a day. So come to me, I can design something that people like and buy.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Okay.
Yeah. So
So just as Patty said, I'm giving you free content idea. But when we close up, I'm collect my money from you. So you're a designer,
Yes.
right? So you've done your work. Instead of talking about the mashke, talk about the type of work done on that artwork.
Oh.
Maybe this person's logo was a text logo,
before and after.
emblem, this. You know, there are different types of logos, right?
Yeah.
How you did the work, alignment. I mean, your principles of designing.
Yeah.
That way, you are now showing us that you're a leader, an authority in your
space.
designing industry. Then I can understand that you're a designer, not a mashke influencer.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll take the fourth question. I like how you both answered him from his questions.
Yeah.
You asked him questions to answer him.
All right. So my name is Divine. Patty said something that struck me. She said the purpose of business is to get a return, and sometimes the return is not always money. I want to know what other kind of returns should I expect as someone who conducts business. Then also as a creative myself, so I create digital experiences for brands. And if I want to collaborate with a brand, let's say just to get my name out there, to build myself, I'll try to maybe work for free. So if I'm trying to provide free work to them, what should I expect of them? So for instance, I just recently partnered with Ghana's first bike sharing company. If I wanted to collaborate with them for free, would I expect maybe unlimited rides for the rest of my life? Or is there like some sort of quantifiable way of asking for a return that is not exactly money? Thank you.
That's awesome. I think you have to identify what you need in that moment, and that will help you ask for whatever it is. So, you know how people say exposure doesn't pay the bills, but exposure also does a great level of work for the brand. So wherever you are, whatever organization it is, when you look at the leverage they have, what can they give you in return? So maybe they have, let's say, a wide reach when it comes to audience. So what you're asking for would be publicity to your audience, right? Let's say you are doing something for a finance organization and you know that you need finance consulting. What you're asking for in exchange is that. So it's not money, but you're getting something in return. So I'll always ask that, what do you think you need at the moment? Do you need content? So if you're collaborating with them, then it means that whatever media team is coming on, they are giving you leverage as well. And you are getting content after the event has ended. So you can look at it from that perspective. What do I need? And that will help you ask for that.
Thank you. So based on that, doesn't mean I specifically have to choose the brands I want based on what I can get from them.
Yes.
So I can't just take maybe a random person just because maybe they are popular or they are big, or I just admire that person specifically.
No. Can they give you? Because then you have certain expectations.
Okay.
They will not be able to meet it. And then you will say that this partnership was not beneficial.
Okay.
Whatever partnership has to be mutually beneficial. Do you understand? So what can this person offer me? Sometimes it's not even giving you access to their audience, but endorsing your service. You being able to say, I did this for Reagan, is great.
Okay.
So then what you're asking for. So there are people that I would previously do one-on-ones for, and it's not because I want a testimonial. I want you to be able to implement, see results, and I can say that I've been able to help X number of people achieve this. Do you understand? So I'm not going into, they're not going to post me, but I can say that I give you this results. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
All right. So we have a very final question and then we are done. This is from the community that I'm not here. It says, in a world that often tries to define women, how have you defined yourself? Patty?
Okay, so like I say, I'm a full-time Jesus girly and a part-time strategist. So everything that I do is governed by the word of God. And so the word of God says, do not be conformed to this world. So the first part of the question says that in a world that women are defined, by what standards are we being defined? You know, so for me personally, if I want to know who I am, what I've been called, which I'm still learning, to be as a woman, then let's go into the Bible and find the reason why the woman was created.
Yeah.
I believe the woman was created to offer solutions, to aid in or being a catalyst for something to happen. And so that is how I define myself personally. I am a catalyst to things. I equip people to birth the things that they've been called to do. I look at myself through the lens of God, specially designed me and has given me the dominion to subdue. So yeah, that's how I have defined myself.
Thank you.
I think I'll start by saying that not, even though I have mentioned Jesus quite a bit, not everyone may feel as though they know where to find this God-given identity. And so they would be actually dealing with people trying to put labels on them to say, you're a woman, you can't go into this kind of field. You're a woman, by 35, you should be married. You're a woman, don't go and buy your own piece of land, etc. And those are all very real constraints, culture, religion, patterns in the bloodline and all of those. What I would say is take the lessons from the definitions that they give, but don't let that put you in a box. And so there are things in culture that have been handed down, that have been experienced by multiple people. Yes, we are in a very different time. There are a lot of different opportunities, but at the baseline, nothing is new under the sun. So you may be experiencing it differently, but what you have is the gift of hindsight, or you have the gift of someone else's lived experiences. So if you come and say, they are saying a woman shouldn't get a third master's at 35. Why are they saying that? There may be an experience that someone has had, and that is why they are conferring that limitation on you. Don't say because of that, I'm going to get a master's. But pick the lesson from what that is. Is the lesson that, one, perhaps your choice of a husband should be someone who is comfortable with someone who is that educated, or it could be that maybe there's actually something in your bloodline or in the race that you're in that has influenced certain things. Like, use the weight of those experiences and those limitations to make informed choices. I find that too many of us just do the, hey, you can't tell me what to do. Then that's where it ends. But there's history behind that story. Understand that history, then you can make your informed decision with all the access you have, with all the information and all the education you have today. So that being said, I see myself as someone who's still in the process of figuring out all the things that God has placed in their hands. And like I keep saying, my thing is to make sure that I don't die empty. Like, to make sure that I die empty. So if I'm supposed to do 10 things, and by the time I'm dying, I've only done 2. And the reason why I have done 2 is because people will say I'm doing too much, or women don't do too much, or as a mother, you shouldn't do this. I have to die empty. So I have to accomplish everything that God sent me here to accomplish. So I just started from the culture angle, because there may be people who may not be grounded in religion that may still be looking for some sort of. Yeah. So in that instance, please take the knowledge, but use that to chart a path, because today we are able to have conversations like this because women in the past decided to take those constraints, break the gates, and do certain things. That's why we have education. That's why we can sit here and have these conversations without someone saying, hey, you're a woman, you shouldn't be talking to us and advising us. It's because someone broke through that barrier, but they could have only broken through by understanding the context. So don't dismiss it. Don't just belittle it and cast it aside. Take the weight and the wisdom from it, and then chart the path forward for the next person who will come after you.
Wow, beautiful.
You saw me nodding when she was saying, because she said a lot of the things that like resonated with the stance that I had on this about not dismissing it, because like she said, there is context to it. I think where we find a problem is that when we take what the lessons are, we don't come back to align with what our personal values are and what the experiences we've been through are. So we just find people saying that, okay, women don't do this, women don't do that, women don't do that. And now we're thinking, this, and we're just talking. But take the lesson and come back to you, from your experience, like you said, from your personal, your family, what is it that is happening in there? What do you think? If you want to break that, then you know that, okay, now you have to go and do some fighting, because this is generational. So don't just dismiss and say, okay, the world is being some way, and sometimes the lessons you need are actually in those things that they're saying. If you dig deeper, you realize that they're saying this because this is what happened. They're saying this because usually when it happens this way, this is what comes out of it. So now you take the lesson and say, okay, I've heard you, but I would make sure, conscious efforts, that when I get to that point, I'm not going to be the person that they think I am. That way, they see me as an example, and they see that it is possible to do it, to get the degree, to get the PhD, or maybe to get to that 40 and get married and give birth. Do you understand? So it's not, don't dismiss it, basically. So personally, for me, I think that I have defined myself again. Jesus is the foundation of everything that we do. There's definitely a definition in the Bible, not cast in stone definition in the Bible for who a woman is supposed to be, but there are values in there that we can pick. So for me, I believe that I am still, again, charting my path with regards to what God wants me to do. And, the kind of space that I am in it now, I am a work in progress. God's work in progress. And I believe that I'm still tapping into my femininity, and I'm enjoying that space as well. And it's okay. It's okay to be feminine. Once in a while, you want to be hard girl, but there's a lot of strength in finding your feminine aspects. And so I believe that definitely God's work in progress. I think another thing I like to tag myself with is being a supporter. And so, yeah, I think these are the few things that I'm going to mention. There is
two scenarios. In primary, when we had started being questioned, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? I wanted to be a captain of a ship. Yeah. And I started learning all of that. But an auntie told me that, hey, you want to be a ship captain, who will take care of your family? A woman, you can't be a ship captain, no. Because you go on sea 6 months, come back 6 months, do this. So that one, they take it out. And that's where I canceled my dream of being a ship captain. Like, that's primary. Now, growing lady, getting to know people. I mean, most of us have experienced that, but it's not as light as we see it. You meet somebody and somebody tells you that, I like you. I mean, you don't need to do too much. What do you need? It's not just a house and a car. Give birth for me. I felt so insulted. I mean, the person didn't intend to insult me, but they are laying what they can offer. They just said, oh, you're pretty. Give birth to some twins for me. I'll get you a house. I'll get you a car. That's all. And I'm like, is that all there is to me as a woman? Because before a woman, I'm human. So no purpose. That's it. I come and marry. Because, I mean, you know, one funny thing, school. Last. It is marriage that used to choke your head. Like, so I'm like, okay, so is it that I can't do anything to support? I can't do anything to help? Like, there's nothing to me? I'm like, nah, for me, I'm forever going to define myself as a woman of value. It's a very common word, but I want it to be said that anywhere Jannice appeared, there was some sort of help, some sort of impact. She did something. Because I've realized that even men, we're talking about women, right? So even men who want to give you the baby girl treatments, blah, 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 blah. Some of them, it gets to a point when they're not seeing any value. They'll say that, oh, this one, she doesn't even do anything. She doesn't know how to do anything. So it still comes back that, I mean, we shouldn't do too much or whatever, but it doesn't have to be zero. Something must definitely come out of us. Yeah. So for me, a woman of value, any day, any time, I'm not choosing hard work by force, by fire, not because I don't want to be a soft girl, but you can't look at me and tell me that there's nothing to me. I should be able to help you. I should be able to support you. I should be able to even contribute to conversations. Nana Banamon made a statement on one of her interviews. She was like, I want a partner who has opinions to conversations. Like, you can't say you don't know anything. As in, you understand? So I stand to be a supporter, as the Bible even says. I stand to provide value, impact in any way I can. Let it not be said that Jannice doesn't know how to do anything.
Wow. Thank you guys so much. I didn't want to answer this question, but it was a very beautiful one. Thank you so much. And to our lovely viewers, I'm sure you probably been watching this for 2 hours. I hope you grabbed popcorn and you're enjoying yourself. And to the people on site, I really, really appreciate you guys for coming. I mean, at the beginning, I mentioned someone came from Kumasi. That alone is fulfilling us. Someone left Kumasi, my hometown. I've never been there before. Yes, don't look at me like that. Came to watch Unscripted, to trust that will give him value, and I hope he was impacted. Thank you guys so much for coming, and we'll see you guys on the next roundtable.